Hello. I have attempted a layout. It's still a work in progress. I meant to actually move something on this screen. Hold up. I think I want this just to, no, it's okay. It's okay. We'll live with it for now. And I'll probably change it later. This is a work in progress. But it is my current layout. I know when I play, like on Friday, I had the games like they were upwards, right? But I feel weird about like this game in particular not being at the bottom of the screen all the way, if that makes sense. So I flipped it and it's this way. I kind of would like it to cover as much of the screen as possible. This is so far what I can do. But yeah, there we have it. This is the current layout. Okay, these are on. Okay. They never appear. Wait. There. Okay, hi. So, okay. Last time we played, the video got really freezy at places. Like, it was in different places, but especially towards the end. I have re-recorded it just so that we had visuals. It should be up this week on my YouTube channel. Which is should be up this week. It should be up in a couple days, a few days. So yeah, but what happened last time? Wait, load. We did errands and talks. Oh, right. There's one thing that I've been thinking about, right? I never reiterate where we are regarding like Ty and their relationship. Hold up. Ty is the character I'm playing as, in case you're just hopping in. So this is about what he currently looks like. I don't know if you can see that. Let's load this real quick, just to show. So they're here. This is what the stats are. It's royal. Royal. That's not what that says. It's relaxed, love, but they're not dating. And then he's got his hair dyed purple. Yep. And I feel like I should every once in a while at least like be like, oh yeah, guys, by the way, this is Ty. This is what he looks like. This is the stats, the setup, the comfort and interest level right now. I don't know. I feel like that's like I never bring it up. I feel like I should just to reiterate where they are. Where's what's going on in the story. Right. I'm trying to think. All right, so we did a couple weeks ago. Errands and talked to it last week. The girls were fighting, but they're okay now. Our parents, well, our moms, because Mr. Holden had no part in the planning, but abandoned us at the market because they thought it would make it more interesting for the kids to not have to shop with their parents. But yeah, there's that and that. Okay. So, well, next we'll do charity, and if we have time, we'll do drive as well. Which we might be able to have time. It took me 3 hours to do this the first time, but when I re-recorded it, it only took me like an hour 45. So, maybe if I don't ramble as much, we could get it through, but like, if it's about the character, I have to ramble. And that'll be the indicator. If it's not about the character, I'll try not to ramble. Randall? Oh my gosh. New word just dropped. I'm kidding. We're replacing the word. We're changing word meanings now. It's no longer Ramble, it's Randall, and Ramble can be the name instead. Okay, here we go. Let's get started with charity, because I don't think there's anything else we need to go over. Also, can you hear the music? Did I turn it down last time? No, it's still about here. Okay, just wanna wanted to make sure you can hear the music, and you probably can. Yeah, okay. And hopefully I'm not too loud this time. I'm usually worried about being really quiet, but I was revisiting, I know, I'm rambling already. I was revisiting one of my ones from, my stream from Wednesday. I was looking at it, and I was like, oh wow, that's hot audio. Which hot audio, if you didn't know, it's just when, it's really loud. It's so loud that, like, if you were to put it on the thing, it'd probably be in the red, but it's, like, really loud, and it probably clips a little sometimes at the top because it's that loud, and it's just, like, sounds bad. Because it's so loud. Is this mic far enough away that I can talk normal and it won't be too loud? Let's hope. Let's hope. Okay. Sun beamed through your window, warming your skin as you lay comfortably on your bed. With your arm hovering in the air, you held your phone above your face, squinting against the sun to read the latest text Cove had sent through. He was out with the group he volunteered with, Orca, doing some kind of activity. They'd been at it since early that morning, and he'd been keeping you updated by messenger. The latest one explained how he'd just finished cleaning up the beach, and was now heading over to Manistall on the shopping street to sell tickets for a fundraising dinner. Before then, he wanted to call. He didn't mind that, and replied, saying as much. As he waited for it to come in, he let out a breath, thinking of the formal dinner that Orca organized. Being a completely fundraising-focused event for large donors, it was crucial for the organization's projects in the year to come. That's why Cove had been so busy lately. All you had heard about it so far was that it was a prim and proper occasion with speeches and everything. And then the notification popped up. Incoming call. You picked up immediately. Hi.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I could read. I don't know, sometimes when I gear up to read, my brain just goes blank. And I'm staring at the words, and no sound comes out. No thoughts head empty. Hey, oh my gosh, I don't know why I can't read right now. Hey Ty, sorry I don't have a lot of time to talk, but this is my chance, so you know. It sounds like you're doing a great job. Are you sure you're getting enough rest? I hope you can pull yourself away from your beloved beach. What a mature, responsible boy you are. I wish you were here with me instead. Okay, let's see. In terms of Ty, I think he's likely to say, that's what I didn't say. In case you're new here. I know about that, but I get sidetracked so quickly, and this is why. This is why it takes you 3 hours to go through one story sometimes. Anyways, Ty is my character from it was a movie, then it was going to be a TV show, then it was going to be a movie that I am writing. We'll see what it ends up being in the end. It's hard to count how many versions of the script I've written, because I started getting to the point where it'd be like just like I would put a note under what change it is, or I'd be like, oh, 2.1, 3.2, you know? So it's like, I don't know how many scripts or versions of the story this has actually been. But anyways, yeah, so that's Ty's a character from that. Not technically not the main character, but like the almost main character, like the second to main character. Yep. And I really sorry, I like talking about my characters. I'm also playing Now and Forever, or I already played the demo, What's There for Now, and I played as my character who's also from that same story. Her name is Kia. However, she was not quite Ty's role, but so they were in the same friend group, but she was, okay. She's been cut from the story technically. I plan for her to come back in just differently, which is giving me more development for her story, to be honest, like who she is as a person. But anyways, you want to see more, or you want to see any of her, I have the VODs of Now and Forever on YouTube, and I might just continue playing when the game updates as her. So there's that. Yeah. He didn't replace her, but he kind of did. They both existed. She existed first, technically, and then he existed, and then I wrote the first version of the script, and then she got cut for reasons of, we did a table read in one of my classes, and they thought she and this other girl were too similar, but it's probably just because we didn't have a lot of girls in the class, so they had the same voice because there were just two of us. Anyway, but you know, I did try it because, you know, there's a lot of characters anyway, and gotta cut some stuff, round things out. So it developed Ty into who he is today by taking Kia out of the story, and he fulfilled part of her role. Anyways, Ty would say either this one or this one, because Ty's a good, like, he can say things like this, but also he's a tease. I just get nervous sometimes about responding. I'm like, what if I say something wrong? Okay. This is probably it's probably a joke anyway, right? Because that's the other thing. Ty jokes a lot, and that I get nervous about not being able to tell if something's a joke or not, because I myself struggle to tell when things are a joke or not. And sometimes even when I think something's a joke, I don't respond in kind to it being a joke. I can't help but my knee-jerk reaction be responding literally. But also I have a literal sense of humor, so there's a gray line there, or a blurred line there. Anyways, point is, I don't know if this is a joke or not. I mean, it probably is, but I get nervous because what if I click on it and then it's not a joke? Then I feel like I've done the wrong thing, and maybe I'm stalling. I don't mean to stall. I just started thinking like maybe that's why I haven't chosen an option yet. I realize I don't have my coin open. Let me open up my coin just so that I have it. Because also, for if you don't know, when I get stuck on a decision, I flip a coin to help me decide. I don't always do what the coin says to do, but it does help often to just like have a clearer idea what you want to do sometimes. Because like if you flip a coin and the coin says something and you're like, no. You know what the coin says, and you know that you want to do the opposite thing to what the coin said. Anyways, I guess we'll try this and we'll see, cause Ty. Okay, I try to stay in character, even if I get a little nervous. Like I said, this is also kind of in character. These are both in character. I think if this was like Miles or Paisley, it might be this one. Because that's the kind of person they are. Okay. See, I don't know. I don't know why I get myself so worked up sometimes. Conversating with people is hard, virtually and real life. Oh, that was an ugly laugh. I'm sorry. Yeah, one of us has to be responsible today.
I mean...
Do you want to come by and see me? At the booth, I mean. Sure, why not? Okay, cool. So, oh my gosh, I can read, guys. I can read. I don't want to say so. Let's just see. Okay, sorry. I know, I'd be terrible at performing because I do this a lot. I need to maintain. Keep telling myself that. I'll do better. I'm gonna be so good at maintaining. Okay, cool. See you soon. It's just down on the shopping street. You'll see it. I can't read. Alright, bye. See you. After the temporary goodbyes, you tucked your phone away and pushed yourself up from your bed. Heading downstairs, you found Ma lounging in the living room, seated on the couch with her legs tucked up and a magazine in her lap. She looked up at the sound of your footsteps, giving you a smile. Hey, sweetie, what are you up to? Oh my gosh, don't throw with her voice. I don't throw with her voice at all. It's okay. Cove just finished his first orca activity. He's going to the shopping street to sell tickets for their fundraising dinner. I'm gonna meet him there.
That's fantastic.
Good idea. That sounds wonderful. She nodded happily, and then her face fell a little as she put her magazine to the side. I'm still sad your mom and I can't make it to the dinner that night. She seemed honestly disappointed, but her face brightened again when she looked at you next. You'll be going, right? I can buy the ticket for you if you don't have enough. What's the price? Thanks, but Cove hasn't mentioned how much it is. I'll check it out when I'm there.
Okie dokie.
Perfect. Let me know how it goes. You agreed with a nod, walking backwards towards the door. Thanks, sweetie. Have a good walk. And tell Cove I said hello. I will. Bye, Ma. Strolling out the front door, you shut it behind you and let out a deep breath. You had known that the event was coming up, and that you'd most likely be going to support Cove, but you hadn't thought about it too much before now. With a small nod to yourself about everything you'd have to do, you began the walk to the shopping street. You hit the shopping street and casually walked along beneath the afternoon rays, window shopping and browsing through the various stalls that were set up around the place. It didn't take long until you spotted Cove's bright seafoam hair behind a counter and the banner advertising the fundraising event. He caught your eye as you headed over and stood from his seat with a smile, pleased to see you arrive. Raising a hand from the clipboard he held, he gave you a wide wave in greeting, inviting you to approach the counter. You came right up to the front of the booth, inspecting the little plush sea animals that decorated it, before turning your smile on Cove.
Ty.
Hey, good to see you. Hey, you made it. Have you settled in and everything? He nodded, taking a quick survey of the simple booth. I appreciate getting to take a seat for a while. The beach is great, but it's nice to be off my feet for 5 seconds. He chuckled. You were glad to see that despite all the work he'd been doing, he was in high spirits. He seemed to really be enjoying working with the charity. Oops. Sorry. So, how much are the tickets for the event? He hesitated for a moment, rubbing at the back of his neck awkwardly. Goodness. They're $150. I only found out today. That makes sense. That's so high. That's pretty low for a formal fundraising dinner. I genuinely am like, are they usually that much? I gotta Google it now. How much is a ticket for a formal fundraiser dinner typically? Wow, okay, so what's this? Zeffy.com, a blog post says, wait, where'd it go? Boop, 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 where'd it go? See, I try not to, oh look, they have a little ticket thing. Oh, okay, so you get to like guesstimate. They have a little thing on here, you can't see it, but yeah, you have a thing where you can like put your goal amount and your expenses and then your estimated number of attendees and like what the program you're using to fundraise is, because they have different percents off, I think. Let's see. Where is I'm trying to see what one typically is. Let's see. $100 gala ticket would cost 3%, 99 cents per ticket. Okay, that's breaking it down. Okay, example. So an example format here they have is that if an event itself costs $4,450 and the fundraising target is $8,000 and the confirmed sponsorships is $2,000. So the required amount needed from tickets would be $10,450. Dang. Oh, because okay, how it works is that you add together the total event cost and the fundraising target, and then I have to do the research. This is like, different things are gonna be like, wait, what? And then you subtract the amount that's confirmed, the amount that you're getting already confirmed from like sponsorships and stuff from the goal here. And then required from the, oh wait, I have a calculator. Let me pull up this calculator just so that I can demonstrate the math for you so that you can see what I'm seeing. Let's see, here we go. Did it, oh wait, silly me. Did it appear? It's not appearing. Where's the calculator? It's not appearing. Okay, the calculator doesn't want to hang out with us today. That's fine. Okay, fine. I won't show you the calculator has to say. Wait, if I do it this way, then will it appear? Aha! I fixed it. Okay, I see it. I see what happens. Okay, so right, like I was saying, so how it has the breakdown on this article for these fundraiser costs. Okay, so if the event cost, okay, wait, we had to use parentheses. So If the event costs $4,450 itself, I want to add that to your fundraising target of $8,000. That's what the example here is. So that is how much expenses is. Wait, is it expenses? Well, anyways, so it has this part. You do this part first. So this is the formula for finding out how much your tickets are going to cost. So the amount you spend on the event, the amount that your goal is to fundraise. And then you subtract the number of confirmed sponsorships and donations, which in this case the number is that they have for confirmed sponsorships is just 2,000. Right? So, and then you have, this is how much is required to earn from the ticket sales. So, then the next part you do is you think about how many people you expect to attend. So, if you expect it to be 100 people, you divide it by 100 to get your average, and boom, the tickets would be $104.50. Yeah, that's what this article is. Zeffy.com blog slash, I don't know what the slashes are. So Zeffy.com/blog/how to price tickets for a fundraising event. And there we have it. And that's how we do it. Wow. So yeah, that's there. We've done it. We've mathed. We mathed out the situation, and that's why we know math, because math makes everything more reasonable. It's a steep price, but yeah. So now that I've done all that, the actual question is, how would Ty respond to hearing that price? Okay, so I gotta break it down by my characters. I think Leilani is probably here. I know, we're starting with Leilani. I think Leilani's probably here. And, or maybe she's here, actually. I don't know if that's actually that low. Formal fundraising dinner? Actually, that's what I was looking up. What a formal fundraising dinner price usually is. Oh, whoa. Wow, I just saw somewhere on Reddit, someone said that their gala tickets were around $1,000 each. They have a free ticket, meal, and beverage cost of about $100. Just historically, I can't read all of that. I didn't open the thing. Wow. So it might be, okay, look, point is, Ty's probably one of these two. I mean, I gotta not ramble so much, but you know, sometimes things you gotta make it make sense in your brain. Because if you think about it, like, I know that tickets to events are kind of expensive. Like, I went to prom, but man, but also, well, no, it's okay. I asked the coin. The coin said to go with this one. I had to narrow down between these two, and the coin said the second one. So this is what we're clicking, because I do think, I don't think, well, because clothes are, it's okay. We're going with it. We gotta move on. Are all the tickets the same price? Yep, they are. Ho shrugged, glancing down at his clipboard as he answered. It's definitely not something I would normally be at, but it seems to fit the type of people who are into that kind of thing. most people have bought tickets, wrote a check for it. I've never seen a check for anything before. I've never written a check for anything before. Never written checks, goodness. You laughed briefly and shook your head at him. And upon seeing the look on your face, he trailed off and cleared his throat softly. A couple of people did have cash though, but yeah, that's the answer to your question.
Don't worry about it.
Still, I'd really like for you to be there. I'll get you a ticket so you wouldn't have to worry about that. You just have to come. You will? Group members get to bring a guest? No, we only get entry for ourselves, and it's only people who volunteer a certain number of hours, or they're actually a part of the team, or if they're actually part of the team running it. So basically, I'm gonna buy it for you. You were shocked by that. It was so thoughtful for him to offer. No way, I'll get my own ticket. Thank you. Can't let you do that. It's too expensive to be a gift. I'll make it up to you somehow. There's not an option that said, oh, my mom said she'd do it. Okay, so I think okay, if this was Paisley, she'd well, because the thing is, it comes into the category of like partially would they do it for them, do it themselves, and also would they allow people to spend that much money on them. And it's not that. I think it's because okay, the thing is, that's what it is. I think Paisley, I know I'm not even playing Paisley, but I think Paisley would want to split the price because that is a lot to drop. I mean, like, because, you know, she wants to be there, but I think she'd feel bad because otherwise he wouldn't be spending the money. But I feel like it's hard. Wow, okay. You know, you gotta work through some of the characters to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. I think I've got down to 3. But okay. I don't think... Okay. So, like, the hesitation on this one is that I don't know if Ty feels like there's a limit on what you can buy people for gifts, but I don't want so it's words. Okay. But I want to know if there's going to be another option after this one, because it's not full on a yes and it's not a no either. You know, it's like a, oh whoa, this is an offer, and it's like, okay, I might see. It's always the simple ones. It's always the simple ones. It's always. I know you'll be at my show, watching, waiting, commiserating, Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights off, carry me home. Na, 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 na. Is that 5? Okay. Boop. No, the wheel's incorrect. Coin. Okay, we're gonna go with the first one for now, and we'll see what happens. We'll see. It's kind of, it's so funny because, like, oftentimes, you know, there's like those characters who don't let people buy things for them. And it's like, I think where I am, and so where some of my characters also are, because, you know, you put a little bit of yourself in everything you create, is you gotta double check first. Like, are you sure you want to do that? Because I won't make you do that. You don't have to do that. I mean, if you really, really want to, I'll let you, but, like, you don't have to. It's kind of like that. And that's probably why I struggle to play games like this on my own. Because it's like it's the in-between option. It's the like, you know, when there's like neutral, you have like strongly agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. I'm like, too many times I'm like neutral. Because it's like, I make things more layered than they have to be, and I think that's the problem. Even though he was happy enough to do it, you never expected him to. It was a really nice gesture for him to make. Felt good to know that you being there was that important to him. He glanced over his shoulder quickly before turning back to you, his lips tilting mischievously at the corners.
Well,
I'm not supposed to, but if you want, you can sit behind the counter and keep me company while I sell tickets. You burst out laughing. Heck yeah. You're such a troublemaker even when doing volunteer work. You nodded and grinned at him. I know, I make it more difficult than it needs to be. I know. Okay, I've narrowed it down. I think Ty's like these combined. But there's not nothing. This one or this one? Yeah, I read all of these. For a second I was like, did I read these? Sometimes I laugh, and even I don't quite know why I'm laughing. Or at least I can't explain it. Oh, you're such a what you're doing when you're doing volunteer work. You nodded and grinned at him. What does go on? You didn't have anything else planned for the afternoon, so it could be fun to hang out. The afternoon passed in a blur, with you and Cove laughing and chatting in between ticket sales. As the time drifted on, and the sun sank lower in the sky, 6 p.m. finally rolled around, and you helped him get everything packed up to call it a day. As you headed back home together, you thought of the fundraising dinner and how close it was now. There was still plenty to do before the big night arrived. The day has continued on in a normal flow, and before long, the night of the Orca fundraising dinner was upon you. It was early evening, and you were in your room getting ready as the minutes ticked closer and closer towards the time you needed to leave. You wanted some privacy, so you had locked yourself away in your room on your own. Liz was helping you pick out an outfit. Cove was on speakerphone. Liz was helping you get ready while Cove was on speakerphone. Oh, wow. Ooh. Sorry, I like breaking it down by my characters. I think Miles is probably this one. No, yeah, probably. And then Paisley's probably this one. She's one of these two. Paisley likes to talk on the phone. She doesn't. She'll yeah. I'm thinking this one. Leilani's probably also like one of these two. Ryan, I'm actually not 100% sure. Sabrina's probably this one. I know, I gotta do a thing. And this is why it takes me forever to do everything. You stood in front of her, considering different items, while she sat on the edge of your bed, lips pursed tight. She had given a firm yes or no to each item you showed her, which had now reduced your options down into a small pile to choose from. The event had strict guidelines, and you wouldn't be let in unless you were dress coded. Nope, unless you were dressed to code. That meant having to find a truly professional outfit, but one that you were also happy with. You're happy to have the chance to dress fancy. You wanted to be practical about it. You weren't happy about having to dress up. Nah, Ty likes that kind of stuff. There were a couple of outfits that didn't get nearly as much use as you would have liked, and now was the time to show them off. You smiled as you picked your way through the items, your excitement shining bright.
That's fine.
You don't need to get too in your head thinking about the look, but you do need to hurry up and pick something. Oh, aren't you helpful, Liz? Don't push me, Liz. You laughed a little. You shook your head. That's gonna laugh. It really shouldn't be this difficult to pick something out. You just needed to take the plunge and do it. Taking a deep breath to refocus yourself, you looked over the options one last time. It was time to decide on an outfit and click. You chose a dress, you chose a button-down shirt and pants, you chose a blouse and pants, you chose a button-down shirt and a skirt, you chose a blouse and a skirt. I'm trying to get a vibe. I'm looking up what a blouse looks like. I need to see a blouse versus a button-up, because I have like one blouse in my head, and that's like the only my only sampler of a blouse in my head. So I need to look at the picture because I know what a button-up looks like. Wow, me and Ty are the same person. Why are we taking so long to make this decision? Oh, but you know, something that I noticed about me reading, this is like a complete side route. I think I'm going with the blouse, but I need to decide if it's going to be pants or a skirt. This is very important. I like clothes. Oh, that was loud, isn't it? I'm sorry. Oh. Ooh. Okay. You can't see me scrolling through Google Images, but just that's what I'm doing. I'm looking up. Oh. Shoot. I gotta decide between the skirt or the pants. I do like these outfits, but I might like. Okay, I gotta think tie. Think tie. Think like tie. I like these outfits. I don't know. They're such a vibe. They look so good. Oh, I'm checking his board right now. Hang on, his inspo board. But I realize I did that thing again where I start saying something and then I get distracted and I completely stop saying it. Me and reading, we're funny. Sometimes when I can't read something, I have to stop looking at it and then I can say it like I can read it. Cause that's a cute skirt in this one, but I guess it depends on the. Oh, what? Did that help? Not really. I'm so indecisive. What's the point of having a coin if I look up at the pictures and don't use the coin? Let me see. Okay, we're gonna flip this coin. We're gonna research flip a coin, so that is kind of reset. So flip a coin. Heads will be skirt. Because skirt appears first, right? No, wait. No, it doesn't appear first. What appears first? Pants appears first. Let me do that coin again because I confused myself while I was flipping it. So heads will be pants. Okay. Okay, we carry on. We carry on. We roll. Okay. Liz nodded in approval, clapping her hands together, satisfied.
Good.
Finally, we're making some progress. Standing in front of your mirror, you quietly assessed your outfit. You thought about adding an accessory or two. You liked your outfit as it was. Accessorize. And it needs a little something extra to finish it all off. Rummaging through the rest of your wardrobe, you picked out what you needed to complete your outfit. A necklace, a bracelet, a watch, a belt, a ring, a pair of earrings, a shawl, a tie, a button vest, a hat, and anklet. I don't know if this will be a multi-thing thing. But we're going to go bracelet, just in case it's the only thing. You slipped on a bracelet around your wrist and made sure it was sitting there properly. Okay. I can get another one. We're not gonna go too wild out there. And then I hesitate. Okay, let me take a look at what these lovely women on Google are wearing. I'm not gonna lie, for the ha-has and the kikis, the anklet is tempting, but it's pants, so wouldn't it be very super noticeable? I mean, unless the pants have splits, but I don't think they do. So I think what we're going to go with, a bracelet, a necklace. Turning back to the mirror, you let Liz drape your best necklace around your neck and clasp it together at the back. I'm trying to see. I'm looking at a combination. I'm looking at his inspiration board, which only's got a couple outfits on it. But I'm looking at his inspo board, and I'm looking at people wearing blouse and pants on Google. And I'm trying to decide. I only want one more thing, because you don't want to do too much. You don't want to do too much. But the question is, do I do the ring or the earrings? And I guess I could have done a watch, because fancy people love their watches. But I don't know. Well, I mean, it would balance it out, you know? You have a bracelet on one hand and a watch on the other, and then that way it's symmetrical. I'm thinking really hard about an outfit I can't see. I see it in my head. Yeah, maybe I'll do... I'm trying to decide how much of a watch person Ty is, because I only have one outfit that has a watch in it on his board. But is it about the watch or is it about the outfit? Maybe I'll just leave it at that. But I feel like there's. I think it has to. It comes in threes. You know, like that song by Sleep Theory. It comes in threes. It comes in threes. No, like in film, things happen in threes. So 3 things feel like a good number. She just has a bracelet and a necklace. Oh, her bracelet's so cute. Oh wait, here's what I'll do. That good old spinner. What we have? Do I include the watch as an option? 1, 2, 3 options? Sure. We'll do 3 options. We're doing 2 options. I guess that's when I could have just brought up the coin. Okay, we're doing the earrings. You hurried to put on a pair of earrings to match your outfit and wear that time was running short. And that's everything. We're going. And with that... I think... You decided to apply makeup. You asked Liz if she could put on makeup for you. You were ready to go. I think we'll call it done because time is running short. We'll call it done here. We'll call it done. If I considered that, I probably would have counted that as the 3rd thing. Well, I would have done another spinner wheel. We're ready to go. This is why you plan your outfit ahead of time. You plan your outfit either the night before or days in advance. Then you don't have to pick everything. Goodness, time's running short. Oh my gosh, you call me out. I take you too long. I know. I'm sorry. Read when you were dressed, and it all come together. Cove sent through text saying he was heading to the car and would see you in a bit. When he looked back at Liz, she had a goofy smile pulling at her lips. You look very nice, Ty. Thank you. You twisted around your outfit excitedly. I do look good, don't I? Now you're talking like our moms. You blushed and smiled at the compliment. Ty is kind of a troll. I need to go through and clear some of these, I feel like. Okay, I know I need to just save. Why don't I ever just save? Yeah, we're gonna save over that. I know that's like, that was like the moment you could have told him, I think. We're gonna save. We're gonna save right over that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it none. We'll go through this one. You admired your reflection in the mirror, happy with the outfit you'd picked out. Liz wiped a pretend tear away from her finger, sniffling dramatically. Oh, precious Ty, you're really all grown up. It happened in a blink of an eye when I wasn't even looking. She chuckled to herself, nudging you towards the door.
All right.
All right, time to get downstairs. Your special boy awaits. Oh. I don't know, I feel like laughing. I don't know why I announced it. I didn't think I was actually gonna laugh. I thought I was just gonna like, yeah, I feel like it, and then move on, and then I started laughing. You carefully headed down the stairs and into the living room where your moms were waiting for your appearance. As you entered, they both stood from the couch and came over to you, smiling broadly. Now I feel like I should have said the other thing. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay. It's okay. I'm trying not to rewind. You look so wonderful, Ty.
Nice.
And very mature, too.
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? They continued to coo and fuss over you until you managed to brush them off. Ma took Mom by the arm and held her close, the two of them admiring you proudly. You enjoyed the attention. Thank you. You sighed dramatically. I already got this from Liz. You wondered why they were making such a big deal. C is the simple options. I say. Like it's not every option. Okay. Well. Okay. Sorry about that. Am I too loud? I was gonna. Okay, so. Hang on a second. Hang 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Back. We'll just say thank you. Yeah. I think it is a little strange. I think he's like, okay. Thanks, guys. Felt a little strange to have everyone's attention on you, but you liked it nonetheless. Liz smiled at you from where she stood, her expression soft. I guess one thing when it's just your sibling and you're like, yeah, that was great. And then it's like your sibling and your parents and you're like, standing man emoji. Mom came in to give you one last hug before you knew it, another pair of arms was wrapped around you, and then a third. Both Mom and Liz giggled as they hugged you tight. We hope you have so much fun tonight.
Have fun.
We won't wait up for you. Stay out as long as you need. You're old enough now. With the last wave goodbye, you left your family and approached the front door. It was time. Stepping out into the night, you closed the door behind you gently and looked out across the street. Sorry, I saw something and I just got distracted for a second. I was like, oh, let me move that. Cove was standing there in the street. His eyes met yours immediately, as if he'd been watching your house for the moment you would come out. He smiled bashfully. They're all being dorks. It's making me bashful. Ah. Hey, Ty. Hey, I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready to do this. He took the chance to check over his outfit as he walked across the way to meet you. It was formal for sure, though it didn't feel overly posh. It made sense for him, and was honestly a sight for sore eyes. He was always beautiful to you. He looked you over as well, a subtle blush creeping over his face as he quickly cleared his throat and averted his gaze. You seem to be struggling to find something to say, rubbing at the exposed part of his arm awkwardly. Kia won't do this to me. I'm kidding. I play these types of games in my free time. And then it comes to out loud and I'm like, it's not even a lot. It's I'm not good with compliments. I can't even read a compliment out loud, apparently. I'm not good at compliment, period, apparently. Anyway, it's not even to me, it's to Ty. But I have to read it. Thank you for coming with me and for dressing really nicely for this. Your outfit, it's good. Better than good, really? Great, I guess. Something else? So, yeah. Sorry, I saw one and I was like, that's not Ty, but I know a couple characters that it would be. Well, it's a 50-50 for Ryan. That's probably what Frankie would say. But anyway. Thank you. You felt shy over it. And your look is very nice too. This is the one that... You're so hot right now, you said flirtatiously. You shrugged. I think this is probably the correct one in regards to Ty. I think this is Miles. Anyways, let's keep going. You glanced over him from head to toe, noting that his shirt, pants, and shoes were all shiny and new. Very nice indeed. He ducked his head a little to hide his expression, but you didn't need to see it to know he was pleased that you had said so. Thanks. Then he shook his head, glanced back towards the garage, and throwing a thumb over his shoulder spoke.
Come on.
We should probably get going. We wouldn't want to be late to such a grown-up event, right? Yeah, let's go. You headed over to Cove's car together, hopping in and strapping on your seatbelts. You were on your way. The event was being held up... Nope. The event was being held at a place you had never been to before. You brought up the location on your phone to help Cove navigate there. It took some time to find the right address, and once you were there, you were met with the task of finding a parking spot. Though you were on time, it seemed like everyone else had already showed up and claimed the spaces. Eventually you found a suitable place. I wonder if that changes based on how long you get ready. Like if you just like click, like, you know, if you don't take long. You're just like, nah, I'm good. Let's go. If it's easier to find a spot. You know, little details like that. I'm curious about. I'll have to find out later. I was gonna say something, but I forgot what it was. Oh, this is a side rail. No, I won't side rail. It's okay. Eventually you found a suitable place before realizing that it required payment. Oh, dang. Now I feel bad. Cove covered the amount, taking a ticket from the machine and leaving it on the dashboard of the car. Despite the small holdup, you managed to ultimately make it to the event and confirm you were on the guest list before being shown into the dining area. Now I feel guilty. I like making people spend more money. Oh, speaking of spending money, Miles is a person who would be like, no, I'll cover it. I'll do it. Because I think more that Miles feels bad because he's like, why? But also, anyways, I'm not playing as Miles. I'll worry about that in the future. That was the side route. Cove whistled low as he looked around, taking in the extravagance of the room. Chandeliers hung from the ceiling, and see, now I feel like I gotta go back. I won't, but it's very tempting. And the entire place was decked out with beautiful oceanic displays. You were stunned yourself. It was extremely high class, even more so than you had already expected. See, because, no, sorry, I'm still stuck on the money thing. Because the way I have Ty in the story is that it's less likely that he would have that type of money or be ready or drop that much. But like, in the first place, like literally, like in the story I mentioned, well, one of the versions of the story, they're like, oh, are we going to the school dances? And he's like, I don't know, we can afford it, but we'll see. for him, because like he's like, I know my parents would be willing to, but like the prices get kind of hefty. Yeah, that's yep, words. It's so nice. This is the best looking event I've ever been to. It's way too frilly for me. It's so overdone. Could be worse. You didn't comment. Okay, it's one of these two. It does look really nice. Am I projecting? You're wasting time. So bad with your PV skills. Trying to get quick. I'm sorry. I just went with that one. Oh my goodness. Your lips parted in a wondrous smile as you took in the decorations and the guests all dressed to the nines. Cove met your eyes with a similar look on his face. You got the impression that he felt the same way about it all. The sound of Cove's name being called out echoed over the din of the room. When you looked around, there were a couple of unfamiliar people coming your way. They headed over to greet Cove, giving you both a welcoming smile and hello. We're glad to see you could make it, Cove, especially after all the hard work you've done to help make this night happen.
Of course.
Definitely, I wasn't gonna miss it. That's so embarrassing. No, sorry, I read the line ahead of time. You must be Tyrone. Cove has mentioned you often, so it's nice to finally meet you. Yep, that's me. You looked over at Cove for confirmation. You saw he was running his tail along the ground, his face flushed red. Yeah, see, because, like, it's a little embarrassing on one hand, but, like, it's more embarrassing for someone to call you out like that. Like, you know, like, that's what the embarrassing part is. To be like, oh, yeah, right in front of him, like, yeah, they talk about you all the time. Like, hello? Hello, I'm right here. Why would you say that in front of me? Even though, you know, you're the one who did it, but, like, still. Ty and I, we've known each other for a long time, since we were just kids. That's wonderful. There's nothing like old friends. Yeah. The guilt. I'm sorry. It's me. I'm the person who wouldn't accept the money. Okay. Cole, we have to thank you for everything you've done for Orca. You're always welcome to join in on more activities when they come up. You too, Tyrone. If you ever decide that's something you're interested in. You nod your head in understanding, giving a small smile. Well, we better head off to greet the other guests. It was lovely speaking with you both. You all said your goodbyes, and they faded off into the crowd, leaving you and Cove on your own once more. Cove shrugged then, eyes darting around the place with an awkward look.
So...
I guess we should talk to more people. There isn't much else to do in an event like this. You know, it's probably in character that Ty took so long to get ready. I was reading one of my old versions of the script the other day. And his sister was like, get out. Because he was taking so long to get ready before school. She was like, yeah, see, they only had one bathroom. Not one bathroom. I think they probably have one upstairs and one downstairs, but you know. Who wants to go get ready downstairs if all your stuff is upstairs? That's probably it. Yeah, probably. I'm sorry. You found your way into groups of people who were standing around chatting with some light music played in the background. Servers with large silver trays were gliding between the guests, offering drinks and canapes? Canapes? That's what it says, right? Apes. Because even if you take off this S, the E would make this A make canap? No, the E would do this one. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is? Oh, they're like little finger foods. They're the little finger foods that are like on trays at the fancy events. Okay. I didn't know that's what they were called. Now you know, 'cause it's my super short show. Cove approached various people as you wound your way through the guests. He managed broaching new conversations as well. You're enjoying talking to so many different people, both guests and members of the organization alike, and found yourself enjoying the company. The sound of a microphone crackling came from the podium at the other end of the room. Someone who you assumed must be the host for the evening was asking everyone to sit down in preparation for the meal and speeches. You and Cove looked for your table, finding it easily enough by the by the little name cards that were placed delicately beside the napkins. A few others joined you at the table, though they weren't anyone that you recognized. The host was still speaking as people were settling, starting off the speeches by giving a welcome to everyone attending. She went on to provide some information about Orca, which you supposed was for the guests who weren't a part of the organization, and the purpose of the fundraiser tonight. Orca's goals, as she explained it, were to aid in the conservation and restoration of oceans and beaches. There were many people who had helped to make the group as successful as it was. When she read off a list of several volunteers who worked on making the event happen, Cove's name was one of the first to come up. His chest puffed out in pride at that. As she continued on to thank the large donors for the event, he checked over at Cove. He was still grinning happily to himself and tapping his fingers over the tops of his knees, pretty pleased to have been mentioned by name. You laughed quietly at his reaction. You rolled your eyes. You were excited for him. You tried to keep focused on the speech. Welcome. Sometimes I make a decision and then I think about the decision again, but I already said I was trying not to rewind, so I guess that's okay. He worked so hard to make this event happen. It was the least that he deserved. While the host continued speaking, multiple servers dressed in black were setting the first course of the meal in front of the guests. One of the servers set down a plate in front of you, and you thanked them quietly before looking over the dish with interest. You recognize the dish as a simple Caesar salad. Is this like a multi-course meal? Is this like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, so here's the appetizer, and then here's this part, and then here's that part. The host quickly wrapped up the end of her speech, thanking everyone once more before inviting you all to begin your meal. Anyone who had included a special dietary note when signing up for the event received a vegan or vegetarian version, and there was also small baskets of bread set around the table. You ate both the salad and the bread. You ate the salad. You just ate the salad. You just ate some of the bread. You didn't eat any of it. Nah, Ty's gonna eat. Ty likes eating, I think. Cove wolfed down his salad before munching into a breadstick, quickly devouring that as well. I hope the next part comes out soon, and it's bigger. You could hear him mumbling to himself as he reached over for another piece of bread. He glanced around the table, and you followed his line of sight with curiosity, noting that everyone else was still eating the salad. Stopping his hand mid-air, he quickly pulled back and rested it on his lap without taking another breadstick after all. It was clear he was starting to feel unsure of himself, and he looked a little out of place here. No! He folded his arms and turned away from them to you. Hey, did you like the salad? It was really good. It was too small. It was alright. It was pretty bad. He simply shrugged. See, he commented on it, not on the food, to himself. I I feel like it would make sense for Ty to say this. Ty specifically, because as I think I've mentioned before, Ty likes to subtly look out for people and offer comfort in ways if he can. Like, like a small example, and I know I'm rambling and I need to move on, but a small example is that I'm sorry. My brain started thinking about something else while I was talking, but because I was thinking about the moments. But is that in one of the versions of my script, my most recent, well, almost most recent version, because actually most recent versions haven't gotten that far, but my most recent version of it, there's a thing that a character was asked about that was the character didn't want to talk about, but the people who asked didn't know that that would be a touchy topic, but Ty did, and so Ty was like, distraction, basically. Yeah. So, anyway, all this to say, I don't think I'll need to rewind that far again, because I have this back here now because I had to, oh look, I already did it. If I needed to redo these, if anything happens, I can just go back here, there. But anyways, because there was the problem, so I don't remember which save it was, but I found one that I could rewind. It was this one. I rewinded it so that I could re-record it. But anyways, we're gonna say it was too small. Because also, anyway, I think Ty likes to eat too anyway. There was a scene where he tried to steal his friend's food, which kind of is funny. No, there's a reason why I said that, but I gotta move on because I gotta carry forth. I'm still pretty hungry. Yeah, me too. His gaze remained purposely tunneled onto you as if he was trying not to even think about what the rest of the table might be doing. You gave Caleb a pat on the hand. I thought I was gonna say head. Oh my gosh, that's what I said. I said it weirdly because I was like, "That's funny," and then it was like hand. That makes more sense. He made silly faces at the other guests while they weren't looking. He picked up a breadstick and gave it to Cove. He discreetly flipped off the other guests. You sat there quietly, feeling uncomfortable yourself. Excuse me. How many options is that? No, I'm deciding between the two. Okay, let's flip a coin. Let's flip a coin. What does the coin say? The coin says, which is funny because honestly that crossed my mind like the moment it happened. I was like, can I just give him part of his own breadstick? Okay, we'll try it. I'm a little nervous. Did I read all these? I think I did. It's okay. Oh, thank you. Ko spoke gently as he took the bread from your hand, looking choked up by your reassurance. He munched away on it happily, seeming much more at ease. It wasn't much longer until the main course was arriving, and the various chicken, steak, and veggie dishes were being served throughout the room. An array of scents wafted through the room, making your mouth water. You had chosen chicken, you had chosen the steak, You want the vegan meal. You want the vegetarian meal. What kind of chicken is it though? When my own opinions are getting meshed in here. Cause like, the chicken's gotta be seasoned well, or like chicken's not that fun to eat. But chicken's always easier to eat than steak in my opinion, because steak sometimes is kind of hard to chew. Or not hard to chew, but it takes a while. It takes longer to... It takes longer to eat. But what would Ty like? I can see I'm so indecisive. Oh my goodness. It's the small things. What does he prefer? Chicken or steak? I don't know. Sure, the coin says steak. Oh, cool. It was nice that you had been given the option of how you liked your steak cooked, and the meal on the plate in front of you seemed perfectly to your taste. That's so funny. Hey, look, they both went for the steak. Cause I was like, cause I think the thing is like I kind of wanted to click on chicken, but I felt like steak made more sense. And then I asked the coin, and the coin said steak. So here we are. Cove had gone for the steak, and once again started to dig in. He was completely absorbed in his meal. You're gonna choke if you keep inhaling your food like that. You kicked him under the table teasingly. You flicked something at him while he was off guard. You focused on your own food. This seems a little funny because back in Act 2, when we went to the restaurant with his mom, with Kyron, Ty flicked like a straw paper at him. Guys, I don't know why these questions are so hard. I guess I'll click on this one. I don't know. I'm gonna give myself a chance to rewind if I don't like the answer on that. I was trying not to rewind to this playthrough because it's me. Give it up. It's me. Sorry, the song. I'm thinking about like a buddy fight edit I saw before, so I associate that song with buddy fight, specifically the character Shido. Someone did a small little edit. I should look for that later. I win. You lose. Not a P. You extended a P in a clear spot on your table, taking the time to get the angle right. He wasn't going to notice what you were doing as long as he had food in front of him. Is that too immature at a fancy dinner? Am I too immature? When it was perfect, you struck the tiny thing and it hit him directly on the side of his cheek. He bolted upright in shock, almost choking on his mouthful of food. The look he gave you was far from impressed, but his eyes still held a glint of amusement. You threw your gaze away from him innocently, as though you had done nothing at all. When you peeked to see if you had gotten off scot-free, he rolled his eyes and returned to his meal. You chuckled lightly beneath your breath, and you did the same, thoroughly entertained. Yeah, Ty's the class clown. I think that's fair. Not the class clown, but if the class is the group of friends, then he's the class clown. And I think that's way to describe it. If the class was a knit group of people, this is a small handful. He's the class clown. Dinner eventually ended, and last of all was dessert. So 3-course meal. Lemon sorbet that had been partially dyed blue. That's fun. The mix of white with bold streaks from the blue made the scoop look like a ball of roaring ocean waves. The effect was very pretty, but the serving size was small. Perhaps it was the price to pay for artistry. He turned to Cove to find him pouting a little at the size of it. Digging into the dessert, it took him only a few bites to polish off. Again, the other people around the table had barely even begun eating. An unimpressed air settled over him as he sat back in his chair, sipping at his water unhappily. You should appreciate what you got. You laughed at his moping. You're such a big baby. We can get more dessert later. You cleared your throat. I don't know what I'm doing. This is great. Now I need to, what I think this is making me think for my own writing is that I should look for scenarios to write characters in so I can expand my understanding of them. Or I can just get more games like these. So if there's more games that are very customized, let me know and I will play them as my characters. I need to play more games with my characters. I love my characters. Sure, we'll say this one. He gave an encouraging smile. Looking sheepishly embarrassed to have been caught sulking over such a thing, he fumbled for a defense.
I mean...
It was just really good, that's all. And now it's gone, but I'm okay. With a slight grin, he shrugged to show that he was really fine. Would you like a bite of mine? Do you want my dessert? Alright, Cove. I think we'll offer a bite. I think Ty's more likely to offer a bite than his whole dessert. Because I think Ty likes dessert. Dessert's the best dish or something. I don't know. He likes sweets, I think. Not sweets, but baked goods. I don't know, desserts. I don't know how to word it. We're moving forward. You scooped up a spoonful of your sorbet and offered it to him, holding a hand beneath it to avoid any drips. Ah. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Sorry, I was gonna... Yeah, I don't know how to... Anyways. His eyes widened as he eyed the dessert hungrily, surprised by the offer. Recovering quickly, he leaned forward over the table, lifting out of the chair a little as he ate the treat from your spoon. He sat back, humming happily with his mouth full. He couldn't help but smile at the sight. Cove swallowed the faux ocean and let out a satisfied sigh. Even though it wasn't much more, the simple fact that he had gotten more hit the spot.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You were pleased to see he was perkier, and you went back to eating the rest of your dessert. Another person from Orca got up on stage to make a speech as everyone was nearing the end of their meal. They spoke mostly about the individual projects that the organization was working on and their plans for the near future, as well as encouraging anyone who was interested to consider volunteering. Cove bent forward on the table with his chin bounced on a hand, listening attentively to the words. As they came to a conclusion and everyone gave them a round of applause, Cope caught your eye and smiled. You wonder what would happen now. And then the lights dimmed. A couple of spotlights came on, projecting a water light effect around the room. And this is why the tickets were so much, guys. This is why. The guests gushed over the ambience, and you looked around with wide eyes at the ripples on the wall. The DJ had previously been playing some soft music in the background, and the DJ that had previously been playing some soft mood music in the background announced that the floor was open for dancing, slowly turning the volume up so it drifted through the space. When you glanced at Cove, his eyebrows had shot up, and he mumbled quietly.
Huh.
I didn't know there would be dancing. I guess it makes sense now that I think about it. He gave an awkward laugh as you both watched as people rose from their seats. It was clear now that many of the donors were couples. A small crowd had started to form on the dance floor, and the DJ played a romantic song to get everyone started off. Cove let his gaze float over the small sea of guests, and he seemed lost in thought, a serious expression that settled on his face, making his eyebrows dip. Slowly he turned to you, though there was something cautious in his approach. Would you want to dance with me? I'd love to. I was just going to ask you the same thing. I don't really want to dance. It's like, wow, imagine that. Imagine being such a mood kill. I'm kidding. Okay. I think I'll do this one because, in all honesty, I don't think Oh my gosh, what happened? Oh my gosh. I leaned on the keypad. That's what happened. It scared me. I leaned on the I didn't know I could click from the keypad. What? I could use the arrow keys? I don't have to use a mouse? I mean, I probably still will, but I'm just curious. Wait. I know, I clicked on the same answer that I accidentally clicked on, but that's because I was going to click on it. It just took me by surprise. I just click. His face lit up. You could tell, even beneath the dim light. He nodded firmly as he rose from his seat, but you noticed his hand shaking at his side. You walked out onto the floor together. Is my connection bad again? No, it says excellent connection. Sorry about that. It's just that it was like something was reloading and I was like, huh? You walked out onto the floor together, hesitating a little when you turned and stood face to face. Cove had a hard time meeting your eyes, but he lifted a hand for you to take, unsure what else he was meant to do. Yeah, they didn't have soiree. They didn't do the soiree because I didn't have the DLC at the time. Is that... Oh. So I was looking at the little, like, the lighting here. So I was like, oh, I was trying to see if it was actually the water ripple effect that they mentioned or not. And it is. It is, so that's cool. He accepted his hand easily and gave him an encouraging smile. It took some doing, but amidst your nervous laugh, you managed to find a comfortable enough position and set a rhythm to the music. It was quite nice after that. Every time your eyes met Cove's, he would look away quickly, but he seemed to be enjoying the dance nonetheless. Eventually, he felt comfortable enough to speak. A lot has happened, huh? You nodded faintly. You weren't sure if he meant just today, this summer, or your entire time knowing each other. But it didn't really matter. It was true either way. Thinking back on the years that you and Cove have been neighbors, it was difficult to even try to reflect on it all at once.
I'm so glad.
I'm glad we ended up here. He gave you a soft look and you beamed, knowing that could also mean many things. But from his tone, you were certain he didn't only mean here at this event. It was more than that. Sorry. I read this one. Oh, do you gotta tell your dad thanks? No, we don't, because he didn't accept the money, he didn't accept the deal. But, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. So am I. I think we have to tell your dad thanks. You couldn't even speak. You chuckled happily at the two of you and the long adventure you'd been on. Oh, go, so am I. I'm so funny. I'm the type of person who's like, we should be saying I love you to our friends and family more often. And then when I have to read it out loud, I'm like, You loved him. Fully and completely you did. The party eventually started to wind down, and at last it came to an end. When the main lights turned on, you blinked against the brightness of them, making sure you still had Cove in your sights. One final speaker came up to the podium on the stage, thanking all the guests for coming, and wishing everyone a good night. It was bittersweet to see it come to a close. Your time with Cove here was precious. At least the memories could be brought with you. Giving the space one more look, you walked together with Cove out to the parking lot. The other guests were doing the same, so you got stuck in a bit of the crowd. Though Cove was so tall you could always see him, and it was easy enough not to get separated. The parking lot itself was big enough. It was quite big, and even more noticeable with how fewer cars blocking the view. Looked like it took a little while to actually locate Cove's car across its expanse. Eventually you found it, and the two of you bundled inside the vehicle and buckled up. The trip home was quiet, as you both silently reflected back on the experience. The event had been the biggest night of the year for Orca, and now it was all over just like that. Outside your window, the surroundings soon became familiar, and you found yourselves back in your neighborhood. Cove pulled the car into his driveway and put it in park before letting out a relieved breath. Home sweet home. Yeah. After climbing out of the car, you walked slowly down the road, Cove coming over to stand beside you. Down to the road, my gosh. You stopped in the middle of the street, right between your house and his, and turned to him, finding him in the process of opening his mouth to speak. Strangely, he clamped his lips together, as though he had suddenly thought better of it. You also stayed silent. That was quite a night. Good night, Cove. Thank you for taking me tonight. This is kind of awkward. And so here they are, back at the street where it always happens. They have to say goodbye because they live across the street from each other. Take me out to the ball game. What's that? Three potential options. Let's try again. This is kind of awkward. See, and I thought that I would listen to the spinner, and then I didn't listen to the spinner. Okay. I've already saved. The spinner and the coin say this option. First, the spinner said this one. Which, we'll try it. I give myself permission to rewind. That's what I'll do. I give myself permission to rewind because I need to hurry up, and I get so stuck on decision making. Also, I think I'm going to try a little bit to talk less during the non-option points. Like the option points I can talk, but the other parts, because I feel kind of bad. Not like bad, but I'm like, people are here for the story of the game. I still want to add in my own commentary. Like when they were in when they were leaving and it was really crowded, but they were able to see the characters able to see Cove because he's so tall. I thought it'd be really funny to play this as Miles because Miles is short. But then again, I guess most of my characters are probably on the shorter half, but that's because I'm short, probably. We'll try it. Cove let out a little laugh, rubbing a hand over his face as he did so. Yeah, sorry. Stepped in for a hug. You ruffled his hair playfully. You gave him a friendly nudge. You patted him on the arm. You waved goodbye. It feels like it has to be one of these two. It feels like... Well... it feels like I can't make decisions. It feels like I'm really bad at decisions. Okay. The coin on the spinner said this. Gosh. You went forward and wrapped your arms around him, and he returned the gesture, squeezing tight.
Night.
With a last wispy smile, he left towards his front door. Figuring you shouldn't linger in the street for much longer, you crossed the remainder of the road and did the same. When you reached your house, you pulled out your keys and stuck them in the door, trying your best to be silent about it. Opening the door a crack, you turned back and looked at Cove from over your shoulder. Your eyebrows lifted in surprise to see he was doing the same, holding his front door open but waiting for you to go inside before he did. You shared an amused smile before you both stepped into your own houses, locking the door behind you. It was late, so everyone else was already asleep. As quiet as a mouse, you tiptoed up to your bedroom and changed out of your formal clothes into your pajamas. Now that you were finally home, you were exhausted. You brushed your teeth and got ready for bed in darkness before crawling under the covers and letting out a heavy breath. It was still strange to think about how that was it. The build up to the event had felt like so much. Now it was completely behind you. Your mind was busy with rapid yet muddled thoughts as you faded closer and closer to sleep. As unconsciousness creeped up on you, you felt more content. It was a big deal, but there would be more in the future. You accepted what it had been, and you could dream about what you'd get to experience next. And then you were taken away from dreams right back into reality by a sound. I knew there was more to this. I was like, nah, it's not ending. It's not ending. Things can't be that simple. Not that simple, but I was like, there's more. There's more. I know there's more. I haven't seen any of these ones, the step 3 moments. So, yeah. Your eyebrows pinched together, fully unprepared to be a part of the waking world again. The day was over, and it had been an eventful one. But you heard another noise. It was tapping. Your eyes flew open. The window. There was tapping that came from your window. Cove Holden. You slowly forced yourself to get up. You went over to let the guy in. You rushed over to him. You extricated yourself from your bed, yawning. You stretched your arms and then made your way to the window. There was another tap right before you arrived. When you pulled it wide open, Cove was indeed there. You had not been surprised to find Cove awkwardly crouched on your window ledge. However, you were taken aback to see that he was a little overdressed. Cove hadn't changed out of his formal clothes. You also noticed that he was perched clumsily. You didn't know if it was because he was trying to keep his fancy clothes clean or if he felt weird about something. His body was too stiff and awkward. Cove smiled sheepishly. Hi, Ty. Hi. Cove, what are you doing here? How come you're dressed like that? It's nice to see you, Romeo. Have you looked at a clock? It's too late for this. You remain silent. We're gonna stick with the Romeo joke because he made the Romeo joke in step 2, and Ty's a jokester. So we're gonna stick with the Romeo joke. You moved aside and let him climb inside. He cautiously stepped down by stretching his legs over. Strangely, he didn't use his hands for support. It was clear to you now he was holding something. When he was safely on his feet, he briefly checked out his clothes, twisting around to see the back of his pants. He caught you looking and shrugged.
I
did go home after the event, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to settle down, so I just walked back out. I needed fresh air and time away from everything. He paused for a moment and raised his clasped together hands to where you could see them. But then something happened, and well, so I have something I want to show you. He grinned like a child and gently unfurled his fingers, not being able to keep you in suspense for even a minute. Carefully sitting inside was a tiny yellow light. It blinked off and then on again. A firefly. Delicately, he moved his hand closer so you could see the creature better. Oh, he's so adorable. Caught a firefly. I was like, look, I caught a firefly. But how did he climb up there? With a firefly in his hands. By the way, fireflies, I heard, are going extinct. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything important. I have a missed call, but it doesn't look important. I heard fireflies are going extinct. In part because of light pollution, so, yeah. They're back. He closed his eyes, his smile now faintly illuminated by his insect companion. I remember the first time I caught one. I always will. I could barely manage anything because of that neon pink cast I was stuck with all summer. You were still stunned by what was happening, but couldn't help snickering when Cove did. It was thanks to you that I finally held a firefly in my own hand. I was happy too. Honestly, I didn't think I'd see them this year. I don't know why, it's just they were kind of late, and I guess I've been worrying about a lot of stuff lately. You could tell that the firefly genuinely lifted his spirits. He seemed at peace, and he wanted to share that with you. The fact that his first thought after discovering the fireflies was to come over and celebrate the joy with you made you suddenly feel very cherished. Cole opened his eyes, but he looked away, not meeting yours.
It's nice.
It's really nice, I think. Even if the fireflies disappear for a while, doesn't mean that they're really gone. They'll come back. I can see them again. He smiled. Technically, fireflies aren't even gone. They're just eggs and larvae. You waited for him to continue. Smile. And then you looked at the fireflies keenly. There was definitely something poetic about them. You felt a warmth in your heart. Cove looked at your face, his smile now fragile. I said fragile. Sometimes I say fragile, sometimes I say fragile, and I feel like it's weird every time I say fragile. But that's what it looks like. It makes me think... Sorry, let me continue reading. It makes me think about the two of us. We're together, then we say goodbye, and then we're together again, day after day, year after year, and... even if our time apart gets longer, it doesn't make it forever.
Ty.
Always be there whenever you want to see me. Sorry, I was processing the sentence. I was reading it, and then I was like, what? And then I was reading it again, and then I was like, what? But I think I finally understand it. You wanted to be with him. There was nothing else you wanted then, and he needed to know. You quietly said his name. Yeah. I've established that Ty's kind of a coward. No. I don't know. Not ready yet. Me, I'm not ready yet. Um, I don't know why I can't read a lesson. Cove. I'll always be there for you too. Go on, Cove, you're being sappy. Thank you. You're the best. You're a crazy person. You couldn't say a word. Yeah. Yeah, Ty's also sappy. Yeah, always there for you too. You beamed at him, you hugged him, you ruffled his hair, you teared up, you stood stock still, stunned. The hug is tempting, but I'm also like, but the firefly. The firefly is gonna, I guess, yeah, the firefly. The firefly. The firefly. Yeah, the firefly. But I feel like a hug feels alright. Yeah. Dang, I need to start writing again. I'm gotta start working my writing muscles so that these decisions are easier. You stepped closer and grabbed Cove into a hug. He made a squeaking sound as he tried to move his hands out of the way, but then laughed when the firefly flew off. He didn't seem to mind the bug's escape too much. He chuckled shyly and then hugged you back. His arms wrapped around you tightly, reaffirming that he'd always be there for you. Cove looked at you, affection plain in his face. Hey, do you want to go out to the hill? The fireflies are still there. Yeah, let's go. You nodded yes. You shook your head no. Maybe another night. It's too late, I'm tired. Nah. Ty's the kind of I'm in type of person. You wanna go out even later? Just go look at fireflies flying? Yeah, sure, why not? Cove brightened. He was practically bouncing out the thought of a secret excursion before he suddenly became bashful.
So
How should we leave? We could just try the door. We don't have to do the window thing, but maybe that'd bother your family? You both chuckled at how awkward it'd be if your moms, or worse Liz, saw you going on a midnight firefly catching trip. You'd be sure to avoid that. But you wanted to use the front door. You could leave from your window. Yeah, why not? Ty's gonna try it. How bad can it go? Let's go through the window. Cove nodded understanding. You grabbed some shoes and readied yourself for an adventure. You were glad that there was no way you'd run into another soul outside. Cove would be way overdressed, and you were still in your jammies. You let Cove go first. He stepped back onto the ledge as you carefully followed. You shuffled along, and soon you reached the garage. You planned to use the fence from there to reach the ground. Cove climbed down to the fence. He wobbled once, but he made it without an issue. He leaned against the fence and projected hushed words up to where you were waiting.
are you okay?
Do you want help? You nodded yes. You shook your head no. I don't think Ty's done it before, but it's been offered, so, maybe he will accept the help. You got to the edge and let Cove spot your descent. Grabbed you about halfway down and brought you to rest firmly on the ground. Cove gave you an encouraging smile, but neither of you risked speaking yet. You briskly snuck behind the house and up to the old white poppy hill. And Cove was right. The entire hill was lit up. Insects twinkling here and there with their pale yellow light. Cove let out a contented sigh, finally able to relax and fool. He strode further up the hill to better enjoy the view. You walked along as well, letting yourself be surrounded by the twinkling display. And then, without warning, Cove plopped onto his back. He paid no mind to smacking his formal attire in the grass. He put an arm under his head and stretched the rest of his limbs out. He was clearly getting quite comfortable in the dirt here. You kept standing. You sat down. You laid in the grass. You laid down in the grass. He's in his pajamas. Well, let's sit. You looked down and found a soft-looking spot to sit. You brushed some of the longer grass aside and settled in. I wonder if Dad will be mad about the grass stains. He tugged at the collar of his shirt. He didn't sound concerned, just idly curious. Maybe you should figure out how to clean it before he finds out. His smile bent a little, and it went silent between you. The only sounds were the rustling of bugs and the breeze and the faraway crashes of waves on the sea. You continued watching fireflies. You wanted to catch some fireflies. You asked Cove if he wanted to catch fireflies. You challenged him to a rolling race down the hill. You asked Cove to dance with you. Okay. Let's see. Ty's not gonna do the rolling race downhill because of what they're wearing. Their clothes aren't meant to get that dirty. That's formal attire and pajamas. Though he will be effectively changing into a different pair of pajamas the moment he gets home, because you don't bring outside into your bed. That's the mindset for Ty, for the most part. Let's see. Wanted to watch. Okay. You continued watching fireflies. Maybe. Yeah. Ty's kind of simple, isn't he? They both just sat down. I think that's more of something Ryan would do. Ryan would be like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Okay, we'll continue to watch the fireflies. I think. I already clicked. I didn't save. It's fine. It was easy to be swept away by the atmosphere. Fireflies and stars all glowing in the night, and white poppies glittering by their light. The view brought back precious childhood memories. Both of you were determined to take in as much as you could. You smiled with contentment as the fireflies danced. The hour grew late, and the fireflies mostly dispersed. Only a few stragglers remained. Then even they blinked out of sight, leaving you alone with Cove and your thoughts. It felt as though this was a night that would never end, but you knew it would have to, all too soon. You were only grateful to have been a part of it. These are moments to treasure. You already knew you'd be remembering them for a long time. It's too early to end, so we will be doing drive, and I'll try not to side rail and make decisions faster. Yeah, and then I'll decide if next time we'll go like this or if we'll go like that. Like if we'll go drive happiness or if we'll go drive reflection. Because we could just snake it. I haven't had to decide yet because I just been going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's go. Like a lazy cat, you stretched your arms above your head and yawned, blinking your eyes sleepily. The day was warm and pleasant, and you were lounging on the couch in the living room, finding it difficult to do much in that moment. Your moms and Liz had gone out shopping, looking for some new items for your sister to take back and decorate her college dorm with. They had asked you if you wanted to go with them, but you declined. For you, today was all... Hi! For you, today was all about relaxation. COVID dropped by to spend some time with you, content to join in with doing nothing. The two of you had been chatting idly as you lazed around, talking about the other things you had planned for the summer. You were sitting next to him. He sat on one couch while you sat on your own. He sat on one couch while you were fully stretched out on the other. You were stretched out across him as he sat on the couch. That's Paisley. But we were playing tie, so, I think it'll be this one. You had your feet propped up on one of the armrests and stuffed a comfy cushion beneath your head, totally settled in. The day dragged on, and you found yourself yawning more and more often between conversations. You had almost dozed off completely, when suddenly a buzz rang out, disturbing the silence. Your phone was on its charger in the kitchen, so it couldn't have been that. Cove pulled his own phone from his back pocket and checked the screen.
Oh.
It's my mom. After leaning forward and setting the phone on the coffee table in front of him, Cove hit the speaker button. Hey, what's up? Ty's here too.
Hi.
She says hi. So, oh, look. I feel like, was her hair always that bright? It probably was, but it feels like it's gotten brighter. You made a small noise in response. Hi. Kyra. Hey, Mom 3. You're interrupting our very important do-nothing time, you know. Hey, Mom 3 is funny. We'll just say hi. Cove, baby, I wanted to ask you if you had a plan for all your junk. Cove made a small, outraged grumble, giving you a sidelong glance. It's not junk, it's important. Mm-hmm. Though you couldn't see it, you could tell by the sound of her voice that Kyra was smiling.
Aha!
But is that a yes or a no about the plan? He looked over at you, his mouth pulled into a tight smile. I'm still thinking about it. Ty? I'm gonna take the phone off speaker so me and my mom can go over this. It'll be quick. Without waiting for an answer, Cove took the phone from the table and pushed himself to his feet. He hit the speaker button again to turn it off and continued the conversation with his mom as he headed towards the door. The lock clicked behind him as he exited the house, and you sank back onto the cushions, idly trying to decide what to do next. After electing to grab your own phone from its charger, you resumed your position on the couch, tapping away at the screen. Your mind drifted away. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Your mind drifted away from thoughts of Cove and his phone call, with all the many ways your device could distract you. It was an effective enough way to kill the time, and you had managed to do various things when the door opened again and Cove returned.
Hey!
I hope you managed without me. You watched as Cove strolled over to where you were still sitting. Is everything okay? Everything's fine, just... He sighed dramatically and let his forehead fall against the couch back, his ponytail flopping forward all over the couch cushion. All over the front cushion, oh my gosh. I know I just came back from visiting my mom, but... Well, last time I flew there, every time I just fly there and back, so there's a lot of stuff I've left all over there because I couldn't take it all with me on the plane. Now that I'm not going to be visiting her like I used to, I'll have to go get it at some point. He gave you a look that you thought seemed almost guilty. Yeah, are you not hearing me? Hang on. I said thank you and hi. Is my mic not on? My mic is on. I can see your chat. Some of it's pretty big, so it's not really practical to have shipped. I can drive over and pick it up. I'm doing alright, how are you? When will you go? That's what my mom wanted to know. She thought it'd be best to do it soon before things get even busier. He paused and let out a soft sigh, his shoulders dropping as if he really didn't want to be the one to have to tell you that. I think that's probably the idea that makes the most sense too. It'd be good to get it over and done with. I'll be setting out as soon as I can. Oh, another trip already then? He sighed and dropped his head again. You could tell he wasn't any happier about having to go than you were about seeing him leave. That's good. It's good that you are doing good. It's not a big deal. Fine. Oh, that's cool. It's not a big deal. Fine. Are you just trying to get away from me? You didn't know what to say. Right. It doesn't say, you say jokingly, so I won't assume it's a joke. Are there, like, I don't know, any streamers I can go check out that would have, that you done stuff for. It's not a big deal. Fine. They're just trying to get away from me. I'm gonna allow myself to rewind. I have to see if that's a joke or not. I'm gonna allow myself to rewind. I have to see if it's a joke. Never. Okay, yeah, so it's a joke. You cracked a smile, but deep down you were sad that he had to leave again so soon. Looking up again, you met his bright, aquamarine eyes, finding a sad smile tugging on his lips.
Oh,
Suddenly his eyebrows jumped and his eyes lit up like a lamp. You could come with me. What? You should come. My visits to my mom's are usually special, so she and I can spend time together, but this time it's not like that. It's an errand. My plan is to drive out one morning, spend the night, and then we can... no, I don't have a Discord to share. My plan is to drive out one morning, spend the night, and then we can pack up the car the next morning and turn right back around. It'll only take 2 days for the whole thing. You thought to yourself for a moment, amused by Cove's excitement. Are you sure it'd be okay if I go?
I mean,
No. Yeah, why not? I probably could use the company. It's a pretty long drive for one person. A sprinkling of color spread over his cheeks as he admitted quietly. And I'd just like to have you around. Plus, you'd have a chance to see my mom in person. I know she'd be happy to see you again. You shrugged casually, smiling as you officially let Cove talk you into it. Let's do it. A road trip with the two of us would be fun. I'll have to let my moms know, but as long as we've got nothing else important on the days we pick, then there's no reason I wouldn't be able to go. Cove's face brightened, and you were sure that the prospect of having a travel buddy made the task seem less tiresome. Anyway. I'll call my mom back. I'll call my mom back and tell her we can pick a time right now. Do you share that with a couple other people? You spent some time together going over your schedules and making plans for when you could take the trip. You needed to fit it in around both your work schedules, which took a bit of doing but came together in the end. Luckily, it was only a 2-day trip, so finding a couple of free days in a row wasn't impossible. It wasn't long before the dates were finally set, and all the plans were made. You were excited for the trip, you were content with the plans, you were nervous, you were feeling unsure about everything. A short trip sounded like the perfect way to spend some time. You could listen to music, eat snacks, and enjoy the open road. I'm not supposed to rewind. It was a good chance for you to get out and see more of the country, and it wasn't much of an inconvenience. No matter what you thought about things, the morning when you were due to leave arrived. Okay, content, excited. Content, excited. Well, we went on a road trip last season. I really do wonder if the steps have like themes they try to cover each time. Cause goodness, road trip. We did a road trip in step 2. But I don't know if there was a road trip in step 1. Well, anyway, no matter what you thought about things, the morning you were due to leave arrived. It was cool. Maybe I should have left it as excited. Oh no, I'm doing it again. I'm backtracking. I think, content is like, I'm good with this. Excited is like, I can't wait for this. I guess we can leave it. I think, because I don't think, this is a little bit of Ty lore, I don't think he likes sitting where you can directly see the front window. Don't worry about it. I think he prefers sitting in the back in one of those other 2 seats, but on a road trip, there's just gonna be 2 people. You gotta sit in the front. It'd be weird otherwise. Last is a little bit of time lore. It was cooler than usual. The sun barely peeking over the tops of the houses. You stood outside your house on the front path near the road, waiting for Cove. You were feeling refreshed after a good night's sleep and an early wake up. With your travel bag clutched in one hand, you watched as Cove finished packing up his car. He had organized all sorts of things: water bottles, snacks, and who knows what else. Cove insisted he had everything under control and didn't need help. At least you could rest easy knowing that it was all taken care of. Gotta reprocess that. I didn't process good. He organized all sorts of things: water bottles, snacks, and who knows what else. Okay, I see what happened. As you waited, you glanced over Cove's car. You knew it well. It used to belong to Mr. Holden, and when Cove had learned to drive, it passed to him. His dad had taken the opportunity to get a newer one. It was pretty old at this point, but had served both of them well so far. You just hoped it had enough life left in it to survive a trip as long as the one you were embarking on. The slam of a door closing made you jump. You snapped back to focus and saw Cove walking towards you. He dusted his hands off on his pants and tilted his head towards the car. That's it. Ready to go? Yeah, I'm ready. He smiled, stepped aside, giving you space to situate your own bag where you wanted it. Once everything was safely inside, he glanced back at you.
All right.
We should get started. It's gonna be ways to go. Woo! You gave him a high five. You hugged him. You smiled back with a nod. I think given the situation, Ty's gonna do this one. The two of you climbed into the car and buckled up. Cove in the driver's seat and you sitting shotgun. His eyes moved to you.
Thank you.
Thanks again for coming on this trip with me. Of course, it's no problem. After checking the mirrors and starting the engine, you pulled out of the driveway and the trip began. With a small sigh, you got cozy in your seat and watched the familiar houses in your neighborhood pass by. Cove reached over to turn on the radio. A crackle of static mixed with the old snippets of song filled the car as he flipped through the stations. Mr. Holden's car was in good condition, but it was, well, older. There was no way to plug in a phone to play music, so the radio had to do. Bring back radios! Bring back CD players, that's what it mean. Yeah, my mom's old car, there was a CD, you could put CDs in it, but like it's been up, I don't know when she had it, upgraded, but the CD slot is gone. And that sucks. Bring back CDs and car players, CD players in cars. Eventually he settled on classic rock station before sitting back and resting both hands on the wheel. Is this okay? Yes, you know what I like. Yeah, it works. You nodded. Can I change it? I'd rather have it off. Yeah, it works. He smiled, happy with the answer. Time flew by, and with it, the scenery outside your window became more and more unfamiliar. It was a little fluttery, being alone in the car with Cove for so long. There was nowhere else you would have rather been. And now, every now and then, you'd look over and sneak a glance at him, wondering what he was thinking about. Eventually, Cove broke the silence, clearing his throat softly before he spoke. It's been too long since you and I spent time with my mom. I know she still comes from the neighborhood sometimes, but it's not even once a year. I'm always going to hers. I'm happy the two of us are doing this. Yeah, me too. Your elbow resting on the windowsill, you gazed out at the world that was slowly coming to life as the morning rolled on by. The sun climbed higher in the sky, forcing you to adjust the visor overhead to keep it out of your eyes. Hey, do you mind reaching back for me? Cove gave you a sidelong glance as he drove, indicating with a nod of his head and a tiny smile. I want some chips, the salt and vinegar ones. And that's a great flavor. I don't know how you can eat that. You didn't have a comment on his selection. Yeah, that's a question. What do you... Salt and vinegar, yes or no? I like salt and vinegar chips. I have a sister who likes salt and vinegar chips. I have another sister who does not like salt and vinegar chips. Does Ty like salt and vinegar chips? We'll see why not.
Right?
Eat whatever you want too. I brought a bunch of everything. Stretching out on the seatbelt to give yourself space, you twisted in your spot and reached into the bag holding the snacks. It took a bit of effort to sort through the collection of goodies stuffed inside, But eventually the bag of chips crinkled beneath your fingers as you pulled them out and sat back in your seat. Here. Thanks. Do you mind opening it? His eyes lit up with the prospects of the snack, and he shook your head in amusement, popping the top of the bag. You poured a few chips into his hand. You held the open bag out towards him. Want me to feed them to you? Yeah, I was thinking about that. I think this is what he's going to offer because he's driving. Like, what else is he supposed to do? His eyes widened, the hint of a blush creeping over his cheeks, but he steadfastly continued to face the road. No, that's okay. Can you just pour a few into my hands? Yeah, sure. Thanks. Coke held out one outstretched hand. You did your best to have the chips fall into his palm, but some did end up on the floor. After that, you rolled up the top of the bag and stowed the chips safely in the back again. When you turned to the front, it was to find Cove crushing the fistful of chips in his mouth, crunching loudly. He wiped his hand on his pants absent-mindedly before gripping the wheel and spilling crumbs all over the place. You're like a little kid. You laughed at that. How can you eat that much at once? I'm impressed. You had no reaction to that. Sure time to laugh. You couldn't stop the amused sound that escaped you, and when Cove raised a questioning eyebrow, you simply shook your head. The hours drifted by, much the same way as that, with the two of you snacking and chatting as the day stretched on. It was fairly calm and quiet, traveling along the open road, and you found little in the way of interruptions. At one point you passed a Welcome to Nevada sign, and Cove gave a tiny cheer. He was in disbelief that the two of you were seriously all the way in another state like this. Eventually you had to stop for gas and made a detour at a small diner to grab a proper meal that didn't consist of chips and candy. After refueling both the car and your stomachs, the drive was back on, just as the sun began dipping beneath the horizon and bathing the sky in a wash of orange light. Cove informed you that there wasn't too much longer left to go. You were almost there. We did establish that Ty does know how to drive. I don't think he likes driving very much, but I think we'll say that they took shifts because I think that Ty would feel bad if he didn't take shifts. Did I read them? It says you took shifts during the trip. You took shifts driving throughout the trip. You helped Cove stay alert while he drove. The route was fairly straightforward, and you had enough practice with driving to feel comfortable doing so. When night eventually fell in a blanket of darkness, the drive finally came to an end. Cove pulled into a parking lot of Kyra's apartment, the glow of the car lights disappearing as he turned off the engine and let out a heavy sigh. We made it. We're here. The two of you exchanged tired smiles, having successfully and safely completed one half of the trip. You were relieved to have actually arrived and eager to get out of the car and stretch your legs. You took the stairs up to the building together, After a knock, you are abruptly met by a flash of green hair as Kyra opened the door and immediately took her son in her arms.
Cove.
There he is, my gigantic baby boy. She squeezed him for a moment and then pulled back so she could examine his face. Are you even taller than the last time I saw you? Cove gave her a fond look as she patted the tops of his shoulders proudly. You say that every time I'm here. It doesn't even make sense right now. My last visit wasn't that long ago. Kyra simply laughed before letting him go fully and ushering the two of you into her apartment. Then she turned to you, a wide grin pulling at her lips. Tyrone, it's so nice you came along with. And as a bonus, you've both arrived in one piece. Yeah, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. It's been a long time. Kyra beamed at you both. And while you would have loved nothing more than to settle down and rest after the drive, you could see she wasn't going to let you go that easily. How was the trip? I admit, I was just a pinch worried. We barely made it. I appreciate your concern, but it was alright. You felt the fussing was unnecessary. You let Cove answer that. Sorry. We can let Cove answer. It was fine. No problems for us. Kyra clapped her hands together, the bracelets around her wrist jingling. I'm so proud. I can hardly believe how mature you both are. Where did all those smarts come from? Cove ran a hand over his hair with an awkward chuckle.
I don't know.
Maybe I got some from my parents. His mom looked up at him deeply, her eyes glistening as she shook the sentimentality off with a wave of her hand. Anywhoosies. You have to be half asleep already, huh? I don't want to keep you up much longer. Early morning, anywhoosies. And anywhoosies. Oh, that's so funny. I really like this pillow right here. I really like that pillow. Oh, this is the hall to the rooms. I was thinking this layout's pretty like normal, but I was like, where does that hall go? To the rooms. This must be where the front is. How do you want to deal with the sleeping arrangements? I've only got my own room and Cove's. The living room couch isn't bad. You keep your bed, Mom. And Ty can use mine, and I'll sleep on the couch or the floor. Whatever's easiest, doesn't matter for one night. Kyra laughed out loud, startling you both. You raised an eyebrow at her outburst, giving her a quizzical look. Oh yeah, you'll just stay on the floor. You couldn't handle that much back when you were 13 with both your parents in the room. She's making fun of us. Well, Cove, but you know, cause the loft bed when they went on the road trip last time. Cove blushed a dark red and gaped, completely unprepared for her to pull out that embarrassing moment from the past.
Hey!
Mom! You blushed. You laughed it off. He's had a long day. It's cruel to tease the poor boy so late, even if it is true. Yep, she's right. That's totally what you do. You were annoyed. She knows he's sensitive. It was uncalled for. You put a hand on Cove's arm in a show of support. Ty's gonna laugh. He's not gonna deny the teasing because like yeah, you're not going to like be like, yeah, that's what Cove would do, because he did invite him there. Thankfully, the tension in the air dissipated as Kyra and Cove chuckled along with you. I'll take the floor. I'll sleep on the couch in the living room. Thank you for letting me have the bed. I think we're gonna have it be one of these two. I think we're gonna have it be one of these two, but I'm trying to decide. Because if he's on the couch, you know, it's not much of a sleepover. But, the floor's probably a little uncomfortable. Well, it's the floor, but then they can have a sleepover in the room. You know, you get to hang out longer. On the couch. But I do think, because while I think that the floor can be a little uncomfortable at times, I think that Ty wouldn't want to mess up the couch. Because, you know, like, you know, sometimes when you sleep, you can slop on the couch or something, or if you, like, sit on a couch in a certain position too much, you can get, like, worn. I know it's not long, it's just one night, but I don't think he wants to mess up the couch, so I think he's going to take the floor. And that's the logic. That's the logic. Because also, he's not going to be like, yeah, I'll take the bed at someone else's house. And especially if they're not going to share the bed. Yeah. Kopchik said, dismissing the idea immediately.
No.
You're the guest. See, because like, no, I'm getting stuck again. No, I need to hurry up. Although I guess I probably shouldn't have started another. Okay, the coin says to do the second option. I don't know. There's something else I'm gonna have to mess around with again. Oh, here we go. The rules. Yeah, I thought so. Couldn't find that. I'm gonna have it open next time. How do you... Okay. Anyways, okay. I saved. I'll rewind if it... I'd be always worried about how it comes off. I don't even know, like, if it comes off badly. Like, it's not that he's unwilling to sleep in a bed or that he thinks badly of the bed. It's that he doesn't want to put I'm allowing myself a rewind.
No.
Yeah, I'm allowing myself a rewind. Well, I still don't want to take it from you, and I said it first. The two of you narrowed your eyes at each other stubbornly. Kyra took that as her cue to step in. My house, my rules then. You know who I have to side with? I'd like you to take the bed tag. You hesitated a moment, but it seemed you had to accept the hospitality. With a small sigh, you gave in. Alright. Cool.
So...
So, would you be okay with me sleeping on the floor in the room? I'd rather be there than out in the open in the living room, even if there is the couch. I prefer if you were on the couch. Did I read the other options? Did I read that it was like, alright, I'll take the bed, or I don't want to take your bed? I don't remember. Anyways, I prefer if you were on the couch. Yeah, you can sleep there. Kyra giggled softly, drawing your attention back to her. I clicked the right one, right? I guess it would have made sense for me, like, you should take the couch, but like, they can hang out if they're in the same room. All funny stuff aside, you need to get some sleep for tomorrow. Seems like you're setting yourselves up to not get me. I know this sounds really captious, but I'm a mom. I have to say these things. Me acting like it's a sleepover. Come on, we're not little kids having a sleepover. We're responsible adults, right, Ty? Yes, very responsible. No, we're not. Well, I am. Cove, though. Cove is, though. I can't say the same for myself. You simply smiled at him. Maybe you should sleep in the living room after all. I guess. Oh my gosh, it's always the simple ones. Okay. Yes, very responsible. I think I can see Ty saying it, even if it's like lighthearted, even if no one in the room believes it. I can see him like, we're very, very responsible. Even if he doesn't believe it, he'd say it. He'd say it, and he would. She gave the two of you a suspicious look and stood up straighter, you stood up straighter, trying to prove your point. I'll leave it at that then for now. Just remember that the walls are thin in this apartment. If you can't settle down and sleep, I might have to separate you. We'll be good. Marvelous. I like her. Perfect. Kyra clapped her hands together, her bracelets softly tinkling against each other. It's only getting later, so I better let you prepare for bed. She nodded towards the hallway and gave you a small smile. I'll play hostess for a sec and show you where the bathroom is first, Ty, and where you'll be staying the night. Thank you. You hoisted your travel bag back over your shoulder. A part of me is like, I should have said, I'm curious what the conversation is if you would have said, maybe you should stay a little bit. It's like so many possibilities. You hoisted your travel bag back over your shoulder and followed behind Kyra and down the hallway. Cove shuffled along behind you, disappearing into the bedroom, while his mom had you go to the restroom. The apartment was small, but nicely decorated in soft, cool colors, with plenty of artwork hanging on the walls to give it character. It was stylish, and exactly what you would have expected from someone like Kyra. After being shown the bathroom and wishing Kyra good night, you headed into the room and found Cove already there. He had changed into his sleepwear for the night as well and set aside his glasses already. Looking around, you found the bedroom to look much the same as the rest of the apartment, but with small ocean elements you were sure Cove must have enjoyed when he stayed here. All in all, the room was pretty clean, though it almost looked like more of a hotel guest room than a bedroom. Cove only spent a few weeks out of the year there, so it made sense that it wasn't especially lived in.
So?
Bird. Not side rail. What do you think? It's pretty nice, huh? Mom always keeps it clean and everything, even when I'm not here. It's a great room. It seriously looks like a hotel room. That's sweet of her. You nodded. Let's try it. A really good hotel room. Cove huffed and turned away. He was being defensive over your teasing. When you went back to the room, you jumped in bed and under the covers, just as Cove was shuffling into his sleeping bag on the floor. You waited until he was settled in before you flipped off the lights, and a soft glow from outside peeked through the blinds, casting shadows over the floor. You closed your eyes, blocking everything out.
Night.
Night, Cove. Sleep well. The room grew quiet as the two of you wound down for the night, and you found yourself listening to the sounds of the city outside the window. The noise out there was so different to what you were used to back home. Cars zooming past and people out having fun, instead of crashing waves and the ocean winds cocooning your house in their embrace. Cove shifted around in his sleeping bag, making the fabric crinkle loudly. I've outgrown this thing. I should have checked it earlier, but the trip was kind of short notice. Are you really sure you don't want the bed? Why don't we share? You dropped the topic for the night. Why don't we share? It's big enough.
Ty.
Cove was perfectly still on his back, his eyes firmly fixed on the ceiling above him. I told my mom I was going to sleep on the floor. He sounded tense, but you hadn't meant for the offer to make him so. There was a perfectly good bed in the room that you would both fit in, and besides, you liked the idea of having him close. You've done it in the past, which is exactly what she teased him over. It's probably more reason why he's like, no. Yeah, I know, but it probably isn't the best idea right now. I was a pretty dumb kid. And desperate.
Don't worry about it.
You're already doing me a big favor by coming here in the first place. Just let me do this one thing and give you the bed. That's what I want for this trip, okay? Okay. It would still be happy. You still would have been having the bed. Pressing your lips tight, you gave a small nod and admitted defeat. Alright, I'll have the bed. Thanks, Cove. It made sense as a solution, you know. He made a small noise, but said no more. With an accepting sigh, you pulled the covers under your chin and got comfortable. The next day dawned, bringing with it the sounds of birds chirping happily outside the window. You opened your eyes slowly, letting them adjust to the light as you tried to recall where you were and remembering the unfamiliar sight of Cove's second bedroom. You'd woken up on your own. You reached over to turn off the alarm you had set. Cove had to nudge you awake. I feel like an alarm makes sense, but also feel like just waking up would make sense. Oh, it's already noon. Okay, I can't take so long to make these decisions. I gotta go faster. Every day. Wow. My mom said that you are it. I feel like someone's got to do this one, because like I'm thinking like Ryan and Leilani and Paisley are this one, and Sabrina and Miles and Kia are this one. Sure. Sure. Well, I think I said Kia was a morning person, but I feel like she would still need someone to wake her up, to be honest. The early morning sun filtered through the blinds, telling you it was about time to get out of bed and start getting ready for the day. The sound of Cove shuffling around the room drew your attention, though you weren't surprised. He had always been a morning person. Sitting up in bed, you let out a yawn and stretched your arms above your head. You still felt pretty groggy. You felt okay. You're feeling quite refreshed. Oh my gosh, I can't. Yeah, okay. You feel okay. You're quite refreshed. Oh, there you go, okay. Considering the long drive, you're feeling ready to considering the long drive the day before and the late night, you're feeling ready to get the day started. Though you weren't as perky as him, his energy was infectious. Good morning. You pulled yourself out of bed, grabbing a fresh change of clothes and your toiletries before heading to the bathroom. After all that, you met Cove back in his room. He was sitting on the floor when you entered, sorting through a bunch of stuff in a box, determining what to bring and what to leave behind. Okay. Yeah, just making sure.
Hey!
Can you pull out the stuff in those drawers? You nodded, though he hadn't even looked up from his task, so you knew he wouldn't have seen. Heading over to his drawers, you started the task of taking out various items and setting them on the ground in front of Cove. Oh, hey, look at this. When you turned towards the sound of Cove's voice, you found him digging through one of the drawers beneath the bed.
Neat.
Here's something I definitely need to bring. Craning your head, you got a better glimpse of what he was holding. A few faded shells. An old yellowing book. Yeah, okay. When he opened it up, there were a few dried pressed flowers between the pages. Those had been gifts you'd given him for his mom's place. Something for him to remember you by, and to make his time here less lonely. He kept them the whole time. You don't have to hold on to those forever. I was only lending you those. I think I'll take them back now, he joked. It was adorable that you care so much for, it's adorable that you care so much for them. You started to feel emotional. Of course you should take them. Ties one of these two. Ties one of these two. Ties one of these two. Like literally he is one of these. Yeah, we'll go this one. His eyes widened in alarm, but upon seeing the smile that was pulling on your lips, he chuckled softly. I think you'd probably just continue lending them to me.
It's nice.
These are special. It was important having a piece of you with me when we were apart. I feel the same way, that's why I gave them to you. Cove smiled, pleased that the feeling was mutual, but then the expression became more amused. And did you keep the souvenirs I brought back? Of course. Nope, he said jokingly. No, he said honestly. Nope, he said jokingly. He shook his head with a grin. Thanks. Nope, that's not what that says. Sorry. Follow through. Another hour passed by in silence. You were happy to see you were making great progress with Cove's room, with only the closet left to sort through. You took a minute to take a mouthful of water from your bottle and perched on the edge of the bed, feeling productive. Cove glanced over at you and paused, putting down the tape gun he had been using to seal up his boxes. You raised an eyebrow. You know, it's really strange to see you sitting in this room. Why? He frowned a little, his eyes distant and his voice quiet when he spoke next.
That's...
During the visits to Mom's, when I was sitting alone in this room, I'd sometimes think about how you weren't here. It was a weird feeling at the time, that you just weren't around. And now that you are here in this exact place, I don't know how to explain the feeling. He shrugged it off and smiled a little, as though he'd said enough already and didn't want to risk sounding silly. Life is pretty confusing is all. I didn't know you thought about me when you were away. Well, that's true. Life makes no sense. I missed you so much when you were gone. You smiled at him. Okay, so it's sometimes, but not always. 'Cause I'm trying to figure out if this is teasing or if this is direct. We'll just... I don't know, run over a little bit. I mean, I'm already running over a little bit. Okay, no, because if I start doing that, I'm gonna go back and forth a lot. I can see I'm saying either of these. Okay, well, this one. But I think we've both managed to navigate it well enough so far. He smiled slightly, nodding his head a little. Yeah, I hope so. He looked away satisfied, heading over to the closet and the last of the items to be sorted. Before long, every box, closet, and drawer had been thoroughly combined. Before long, every box, closet, and drawer had been thoroughly combed through, with the items either neatly packed up in boxes or organized and returned to their proper place. With a sigh of relief, you glanced around the bedroom and the work you had done together.
All right.
We're done. Good job to us. I'm gonna change out of my PJs for the drive. Yeah. When the two of you headed out into the living room, ready to get everything finalized and hit the road, you found Kyra in the kitchen, pouring a cup of tea. Cove headed towards her, leaning casually against the counter that divided the two spaces. Hey, you didn't have to get up so early.
Come on.
Are you crazy? Of course I have to see you off before you go. You can't sneak away while I'm out cold. She beamed at him and, in all honesty, seemed more happy to be up and getting ready for the day. Seemed more than happy. Do you want some breakfast? I've got some muesli, or eggs and toast. Oh, some of that fruity cereal you used to love. That's okay. We should really eat on the road. Kyra smiled sadly, a little disappointed, but she seemed to understand that your time was running thin. I thought you might say that. In that case, I've packed you some snacks for the road.
What do you think?
Even if you don't end up eating them, take it anyway, just in case. You can always feed them to Cliff when you get home, and tell him I said hi. Cove laughed and shook his head, knowing his dad would love nothing more than to polish off whatever food Kyra had prepared for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mom. You really didn't have to. Thanks for the snacks. That's nice of you to organize this for us. It must be a mom thing to know stuff like that. I'll definitely eat whatever you've packed. He smiled quietly at her. Thank you for the snacks. I'm sure they'll come in handy with this guy around. Cove scoffed and playfully rolled his eyes, earning a giggle from Kyra. I don't doubt it. Like father, like son. She returned your smile with one of her own, before putting her cup of tea aside. Well, I'll help you get the car packed.
Sure.
Sure, thanks. The three of you got a move on, taking the boxes from Cole's bedroom and heading down to fill the back seat of the car. Until there was barely an inch of space left in the back and trunk. With all of you helping, it only took a couple of trips to move everything, and you were done before you knew it. Then it was truly time to say goodbye. You convened back inside the apartment, where Kyra looked over the two of you with a quiet smile. It was great seeing you both. Thank you for coming. She gave each of you a hug, and you felt a little sad that you hadn't been able to spend more time with her. It was good to see you too, Mom. Cove embraced her in return, the two of them holding on to each other for a few seconds longer. I'll miss you, but I'll visit again soon.
Of course.
You better. Hey, we should make plans for you to visit us too. I'll let you know when it's settled. I'd love that. Kyra bundled all the stuff she prepped into a bag and handed them over to you. You took a quick peek at what she had packed. There were fruit, nuts, seeds, hard-boiled eggs, and some veggie sticks.
Cool.
Oh, good to see we've got some fresh food options now. The snacks I brought weren't. Kyra shook her head at him and let out a soft laugh as though she wouldn't have expected anything else. I seriously hope you're feeding yourself better than that at home. Yeah, of course, just not on trips. I can live with that then. She looked over him fondly, her eyes at last focusing on his face and filling with emotion. I'm going to miss you, baby.
Me too.
Goodbye. Thank you for letting us come. We'll all be together again before you know it. You didn't know what to say. Yeah, it was like a like a mother-son moment. Ty's probably standing man emoji right now. Yeah. But you tried to manage a pleasant face at least. Kyra put an arm around you both, pulling you in tight to her sides for one final squeeze.
Bye.
Have a safe trip. We will. With a last goodbye, you exited the apartment. Though Cove hesitated for a moment in the door, his expression distant. You weren't sure what he was doing, though you tentatively took a step towards him. Everything okay? Your voice seemed to bring him back to earth, and he shook his head to clear his thoughts, his green hair swaying from side to side.
Come on.
Yeah, let's go. With that, the two of you headed back down to the car, ready to make the long trip home. Soon enough, you were on the wide open road with a car full of Cove's things and only one destination, Sunset Bird, California. The drive went as smoothly as could be expected, with the morning slowly creeping into midday as the miles flew by. After a while, you switched places with Cove and took over driving for a couple hours. The day flew by in a whir of open road and sunshine, and before you knew it, it was early afternoon. By that point, you had already crossed the state line. Cove announced that he planned a little stop on the way home. He was quite pleased with himself as you arrived at the precipice, the Redwood National Park. Shaded beneath a canopy of enormous redwood trees, you drove along. When Cove parked the car, you pushed the door to get out, and the first thing you did was look up. Enormous redwood trees surrounded you on all sides, their massive trunks shooting straight up into the canopy of foliage overhead. There were too many of them to count, stretching on and on as far as you could see. You squinted again, the sunlight that was peeking through the leaves and dancing on the paths around you. It's great, right? He smiled at you from over the roof of the car before glancing around the place fondly. Remember the trip our families took here that one summer? It was cool going on a journey and seeing the forest in person, even if we didn't stay very long.
So...
And I guess we could stay for even less time, but oh well. It just seemed like a good time to stop by. Who knows when we'll get another chance. His voice got a little softer at the end. It seemed to be bittersweet for him, being in a place he was so fond of, but not having the time to appreciate it fully. You were pleased to have stopped there. You felt pretty good about being there. You didn't mind either way. You would have preferred not to stop at all. You were pleased to have stopped there. It was a beautiful place to stretch your legs and take in some fresh air. Thanks for bringing me here. There will be more chances in the future, I promise. It's better than taking a break at a gas station. I'll put up with the trees for you. I'll put up with this place for you. You said nothing about that. Oh, being like, yeah, I'm glad I'm here. I'll put up with it. There'll be more chances. That's correct. I am thinking about Ty still. I didn't say anything, but I wanted to clarify. Oh. Oh no. Hang on. There we go. Sorry, charger. Cove smiled, shoving his hands in his pockets and dipping his head. I'm gonna hold you to that. The two of you walked around for a while, completely dwarfed by the sheer scale of the redwood trees. It kind of put your view of yourself and everything in a strange perspective. You took in a lungful of clean forest air, listening to the sounds of bird song and the cool breeze rustling through the underbrush, taking advantage of the space to move around freely. However you felt about being there, it was a totally different scene than sitting in that old car for hours and hours. You walked closer to Cove. You were feeling nervous, so kept your distance from Cove. You felt more comfortable keeping your distance from Cove. No, Ty's the kind of person who gravitates towards people. When he's walking with people, I think he feels the most comfortable walking near them because it feels weird if they're too far. He seemed tense when you approached, but he didn't move away. Eventually, he relaxed a little, and the two of you walked along in a comfortable silence. Being here again, you couldn't help but reminisce on what else had happened during the trip you had taken here all that time ago. There were a lot of things that had reminded you of it recently. You looked over at Cove, who seemed to be lost in the peace of the place, and you wondered if any of it crossed his mind. Smiling at the sight, you thought back on what had been a highlight of a long-gone vacation. You know, we spent the night in the loft together. Elizabeth teased us mercilessly on that trip, remember? Our families were so close. Remember how a bird stole your dad's lunch? I haven't forgotten the classic anklet chat. Since it's the start of the convo, oh my gosh, who says that? Since this is the start of the conversation, we'll start here. I don't know if there is any other options that'll be clicked on, but I think Ty would start with this because it's a funny story. Yeah. Cove instantly started laughing at that memory of the bird taking off with Mr. Holden's sandwich. After all these years, it was still a once-in-a-lifetime sight. Poor Dad, he could never catch a break. You continued chatting about the trip a little while longer, about things you'd seen and done, and even eaten. A lot of the memories Cove had of the trip were similar to your own, but you're also surprised to hear of a few other things from his point of view. So much had happened. that there was no shortage of things to talk about. The place certainly had nostalgic quality about it. Hey, Ty. You looked over at the sound of Cove saying your name to find him smiling at you, seeming relaxed again amongst the nature of the park. Has anyone ever told you before that you have gorgeous eyes? Because you do. The words left his lips and you froze, completely taken aback by the compliment. He blushed and dipped his head, unable to look at you. That's another thing that happened during the trip. You're so sweet. Your eyes are much more beautiful. You put a hand to your forehead, pretending to swoon. You found it difficult to hide your blush. I could never forget. You can't just say things like that with no warning. Okay, so I can cross that one off because I think that's more of like a Miles thing to say. Because Miles gets really embarrassed. These two are like Miles. Miles would be one of these two because he's Miles. Ryan is this one immediately. Like, no hesitation. That's Ryan. What would Ty say? What would Ty say? What would Ty do? What would I'm stalling again. Okay. I'm not stalling, but I'm getting stuck again. Hold up. Let's see. Okay. We rely on outside sources. The coin said, try this one. And I know what I said. I know I keep doing them. I keep being like, I'm not supposed to rewind, but I'll allow myself to rewind on this option. That's still the case. Cove chuckled at your dramatic response, shaking his head in amusement. Your spirits were light as you ambled past information boards and picnic areas. I guess I can leave it. I was thinking about it for a second. I was like, should I go see what else would be? Okay, wait, I just convinced myself. Wait, let me save so that we still have this one, and it's like I'm not backtracking, right? I'll just save over this option, right? And then, even though I probably went faster to... Anyway, no. I'm just curious what this one was. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. I didn't even need to do all that. Your spirits were light as you ambled past information boards and picnic areas. But before long, you decided it was time to bring the short stop to an end and head back to the car to get on the road again. Cove sighed when you finally reached the vehicle, jangling the keys in his hands before unlocking the doors.
Well,
I wish we didn't have to go, but we're going to be responsible and not stay longer than we should. How grown up of you. He smiled slightly, and with that, the two of you jumped into the car, buckled in, and he put it in drive. You were getting closer and closer to town as the sun started setting, though we're still far away enough that the radio stations were unfamiliar to you. Sorry, I wasn't expecting a picture. Cove twisted the dial this way and that before stumbling onto a channel with a song he seemed to like. That was a rare gift from the fates in a sea of static and strange radio jockeys and grating tunes. His face immediately brightened at the sound of it, and he drummed his fingers along the bottom of the steering wheel happily. Sitting back in his seat, he bopped his head and shimmied his shoulders in time to the tune, all while mouthing along the words. Occasionally, he even lifted one hand from the wheel to gesture with his fingers for a specific line. So he's me when I listen to music. You smiled, you chuckled softly, you shook your head, you sang along, you ignored it. I'm doing it again. Okay. I gotta lock in. But I feel like that makes sense. I can see it happening. I had a couple options down, which was the smiled, chuckled softly, and the singing along, and I spun the spinner. But yeah, because sometimes when your friends are singing, don't you join in? I mean, I don't have a lot of friends, but I'm kidding. I don't go on road trips. I haven't been on a road trip with a friend or anything. But I would sing along with my sisters. So that makes sense. I feel like it's something Ty would do. I feel like if they were on a long trip, I could see the friend group and my story singing along to the song. The one least likely to is Miles. Yep. I think even Leilani's more likely to. And that would make sense if you knew my characters better, but you don't because I haven't shown you much of those two. Anyways, Cove raised a pleased eyebrow at your vocalization. Emboldened by you, Cove decided to speak the words rather than lip syncing. Your voices mixed together, slowly creeping louder and louder as you belted out the words to the song. Fun times. Every now and then, a word would be sung wrong, and by the end, you're both laughing too much to continue. The song ended, and Cove reached over to start cycling through the radio stations again. Upon finding nothing tolerable, he flipped the dial off in defeat and leaned back into his seat with a sigh. You rested your head on your hand and stared out the window as the sky darkened, watching the landscape slowly melt into more familiar views. The miles went on, and any energy you had earlier was beginning to drain away. You imagined home and your family. You'd be there together soon. I spent all these years living in Sunset Bird and taking a few weeks each summer to visit my mom in that second room. That's not gonna happen anymore. Not really. I can still see my parents, but the way it all works between us has changed forever. He paused, the silence stretching, a serious look settled on his face, his thoughts far away. I'm excited to be on the brink of real adulthood. I'm worried about things to be in the future. I feel the same about my parents too. You should lighten up. You said nothing. No, this is a more difficult one. Oh goodness. Goodness. I like his hair. sorry. I was just staring at his hair. I was like, look, it's so fluffy and long. I like his hair. Okay. Cause I'm leaning towards this one. Cause I think Ty does try to go for relating when he talks with people. And but I don't know if it feels too impersonal because Cole's situation is very specific. You know, he sees his like the thing is that Cole's gone back and forth, but now he's like, it'll be different because he's an adult, so eventually he's gonna have his own place, and then he's gonna have to like, it's not gonna be an either or, you know. But I'm looking at these options, and I think this is the. This is a tough one. It's a tough one. It makes sense I got stuck here. It's a tough one. It's a toughie. It's a toughie. It's a tough. Oh wow, I'm really running over. Okay. I didn't realize it's been that long. You should lighten up. No, I don't think you'd say you should lighten up. I don't think neither of these feel right, so this one doesn't feel right either. Okay, I guess I'll just go for it. Because okay, the coin has supported me. I don't know if it's right. Hey, look, they did the thing, the anime thing, the thing where they erase part of the thing so it doesn't block the eyes. The anime. I know they'll always be there for me, but we really don't have the same relationship we used to. It's not exactly. Eep. Held my phone to a tight line. He gave a small nod. He got the feeling that he understood how you felt. Phil stared straight ahead down the long road. The path looked like it never ended from where you were. But that wasn't true. Eventually he found a few more words to say. Let me see something. Oops. Okay, then it's just like, yeah. Well, shoot.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with this one. Because I feel like Ty wouldn't want to leave it open. He'd want to have like some response, but I don't know.
I'm so glad.
I think it's good we were able to do this trip without any parents or chaperones. It was just us. We did it all. I don't know. I feel a little more independent now. A little more ready for what's ahead. Right. I felt ready for a while now. I'm not sure I'll ever be ready. He didn't respond to his conclusion. Right. It's like a real first step to be on our own all the time. It'll be here before we know it. The topic seemed to wear on Cove, and he made an attempt to find something else to speak on. So I'm kind of sad about getting back. I'm gonna miss having you right there tonight. Grimace leaning forward, his shoulders tense and his eyes hyper-focused on the road ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to sound weird or anything. It's just nice to hang out. That's not strange. I can understand it. Cove gave you a small smile, one that you returned, and the two of you fell into a more comfortable silence. The sky outside grew ever darker as the hours passed by, the stars blinking on like tiny fireflies painted on a canvas of blue. The scenery continued transitioning between open roads, industrial areas, and beach towns, becoming increasingly recognizable as time went on. You felt somewhat disconnected from the world around you. Maybe it's just worried for the future. It'll be a conversation that sits in my brain. You felt somewhat disconnected from the world around you as you watched it through your window, your tired mind growing hazy. It was a strange, reflective feeling, but peaceful nonetheless. Soon enough, the world would return to you, and you'd find your feet firmly on the ground. It couldn't be helped. The adventure would end, life could continue, but your memories would linger on. Okay, there we have it. We ran over a little bit, but that's okay. So there we have it. We've done all 5 of the first of the base game the base game moments. And next time we will either pick up with reflection or happiness. I don't know. It's cuz I really want to do voting. That's it. That's why I am so unsure. Because a part of me feels like, well, I did this way and then I did this way. But another part is like, but I want to do boating. But it also makes sense because it feels like it like a transitional, like it flows. It flows if I just go down one and that way because it feels like I'm following something. But if I just go boom, 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 and then over here, you know, it's like, well, I didn't follow the line. I don't know. So maybe I'll do this way, but it also feels like the numbering is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know? You know? Well, anyway. There we have it. Oh, let me add it here. Just in case there's ever a moment that I don't have the DLCs. And then it'll be like, boom. I don't know. Doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to me. So, there. That was a fun time. And if we didn't have the DLC, next time we'd be picking up there. But we have the DLC. I don't know what to do. Okay. Menu. Configure. Load. Yeah, there we have it. Right. Okay. Menu. Gallery. I get jump scared when I see Cove with the different hair that I'm used to. I'm like, who is that? Who is that? Oh, it startles me so. We got a new image. Whoop whoop. Oh goodness. But yeah. Like that, I was like, who is that? Who's? But yeah, okay, that's all for today. Next time we'll see what we do. Maybe I'll flip a coin or something when we come on and be like, should we start with happiness or reflection? Just maybe, it feels like we should probably just start with reflection. Even though it flows all smoothly if I go to happiness. But happiness feels like number 10. And if we're going in number order, I feel like I need to do reflection first. I think it was called reflection. I don't actually remember. Yeah, it was called reflection. Reflection, late shift. I'll see if I can get those two done next time. Both of them. I think I'll go with reflection. I think I'll do that. So next time, which is next Monday, Monday the 13th, I'll see if I can do reflection and late shift. And then after that, serendipity and boating. And then happiness and probably the end of summer. And just the end of summer, and then I'll save before the in-between. Or at the in-between or something. It depends. Actually, maybe I'll look up which one's longer. Happiness or reflection. And maybe I'll try to do it based on that. Because if happiness is really long, I mean, they've all kind of been long. Yeah, I think they have 3 segments each, right? Wait, let's see. Four segments each? Yeah, I think there are 4 segments. Probably. Anyway, yeah, okay, let me wrap up for real. There we have it. Did you, this is like a side note, did you like my new layout? It's a little bit of a work in progress, but it's because I don't have any other things to put on a star right now. The 2 stars right there is the chat, if you've noticed. If you noticed, the little, right there. Did it work? Yeah, there we go. Here's the chat. So, it's a little whoop whoop. That's fun. And then this one is the followers star. And then I'll get the other ones in here probably soon too, but yeah, so there's that. I feel like there's probably something more I can do with this layout besides, well, I gotta add 1 or 2 more stars. When I do this one, will probably be tilted, or maybe I'll just, we'll see. Anyways, on Wednesday we'll play Long Live the Queen. Wednesday is Long Live the Queen Day. We'll see about Thursday and Friday. Because I have excuse me. I have to get more demos downloaded and set up. That's what it was. That's what I'm trying to say. I couldn't remember what I was talking about. I know, silly me. Oops. Boom. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and see you on Wednesday for Long Live the Queen. I did kind of play it on Friday, but it's okay. We didn't succeed. See you then. Bye.